The municipality of North Cypress-Langford is located to the south of Neepawa, bordering the town on three sides and stretching south past Carberry as far as Shiloh to the west and Edrins to the east. Total population for the area is 2,860, with a land area of 1,762 square kilometers within 6 wards. This month, the Council for North Cypress-Langford focused on cleaning up the municipality, including road fixes, bylaws regarding derelict buildings, and investigating environmental complaints from constituents. During a routine public hearing, Council heard concerns about construction trash being dumped on a road allowance, not an active road, which required a letter to be sent to the offender. As well, there have been issues with irrigation equipment leaving water on roads, which violates a bylaw but has been difficult to enforce. Council is looking at developing a matching bylaw to surrounding municipalities to normalize enforcement measures across the region. A new bylaw regarding vacant and derelict building received second reading at the meeting. The bylaw was intended to allow Council to deal with hazardous properties that are not being maintained by the owner on a complaint-driven basis. However, Council ultimately voted down the bylaw as written in order to work with the planning district on the issue instead. Other property-related issues that came before Council include the unpermitted construction of lagoon and a drainage backup due to beaver activity. As well, some residents are asking for a new water line to be put in that would service their area, and an offer has been made to help the mowers catch up with some neglected back roads. However, there are liability issues associated with that. Recent hiring should eliminate that problem once the newer operators are up to speed. In what will certainly be welcome news to residents of the northern portion of North Cypress-Langford, beginning in 2024, the municipality will have a presence in the Neepawa County Court building twice a week during tax season. Council also voted to help fund the completion of electrical and plumbing work for the new campground, which has run well over the original budget for the project. Following is the Municipality of North Cypress-Langford's October meeting in its entirety.
Call the meeting to order. Resolution 248, 2023. Be it resolved the meeting convened at 9 a.m. with re-radiation in the chair. Can I have a mover, please?
Thursday.
Seconder.
Rob?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I seen Rob's hand over there.
Okay.
That's the one.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Adoption of agenda. Resolution 249, 2023. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of October 11th, 2023 be adopted as circulated. Can I have a mover, please?
Grant.
Grant, seconder.
Davidson.
Karen, anybody have anything to add to the agenda? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Adoption of minutes, resolution 250, 2023. Be it resolved that the minutes for the regular meeting on September 11th, 2023, the joint meeting minutes of September 25th, 2023 be adopted as circulated. Have a mover, please. Seconder.
Rob.
Any question on any of those minutes, anybody?
I sent them out, but
Yep.
I got them, okay.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. No delegations?
No.
Finance and accounts. Resolution 251, 2023 be resolved that the financial statement for September 2023 be referred to council. Can I have a mover, please? Davidson, seconder.
Grant.
Yeah. Any questions?
Well, I
on the
just,
financial
I'll
statement?
elaborate, I think, a little bit on the reserves. So we did a few transfers, our budget transfers, into the reserves. One thing I want to talk to you guys about is your equipment reserve. After buying the graders and whatnot, it's pretty much depleted, so we need to figure that out. But there wasn't enough, I know I talked about that, but there wasn't quite enough in there as it was, so we had to put more in. But I need to discuss that with you a bit more later on in the meeting. But other than that, you'll see on your reserves page like what's been transferred all in to each reserve. But if you have any questions, the one that is new is the mitigation and preparedness One, I know it says, for some reason it printed out as a weed control, but it's actually, that's what it's called. I think it's just a custom report. So that is that grant that I received for the DFA money from the province. So we're supposed to put that money into a reserve until we can use it on a specific project.
Right.
So it's supposed to just stay in the reserve and accumulate interest, and then once we are ready for a
Are we
project.
gonna do that on that bridge?
That night, yeah, we,
Which bridge?
well, I can't remember what the bridge is called. It was,
Chartrand's Bridge?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
White
Bud's-
Mud's
White Bud's doing one
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, they're done so.
Okay, so I wondered if that was maybe one that we
Yeah,
could
that
use
was-
it
For
for,
sure.
cause I mean it,
Well, that one was supposed to be claimed during the flood.
and it was.
It was.
But the thing
we
with this
didn't do
money
it.
is this is our deductible basically that we didn't get back from the government, so that's what they,
There's also a plan that Watershed has been working on for another project, like the Road 71 project,
okay,
but further north.
okay,
So that's sort of mitigation to prevent downstream flooding and stuff like that,
okay,
and preparing for droughts and whatnot. So it would be a few miles north, Road 78
okay.
on the Boggy Creek.
East of Greg's place.
Yeah, straight down there.
Down there at the bottom.
They've done surveying and stuff too.
There's two rail cars in there.
There's an old, there's single rail car, and then to the east is sort of a low level for the
Yeah.
overflow.
Okay,
So Cam figured it would be a pretty simple project, just would be less work than Road 71, but it
Okay.
would be just as big of impact, if not more, so.
Do that through Watershed, yeah.
So I think for Road 71, the RM did the work, some of the work, and gravelled it and stuff like that, and through Watershed, they got the culverts and all the drop gates paid for and all that.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I think that's how it worked.
okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's fine, that makes sense.
Any other
I
comments?
think that was all I had for that. We'll have to, I'd like to have a finance meeting probably in November, just to kind of go over the year, and then we can get ready for budget.
Are we gonna go over the audit today, or look at it?
The audit,
Yeah,
well, I'd like to, I just got it in the mail, the final, like,
okay.
last week,
I was looking at the one you sent out on email, the 2020 one?
2021, yeah.
21,
Yeah, I would like to do that with the finance committee if we could, or if all of you guys wanted to. Unfortunately, Myers Norris Penny, I asked them to come out and present, I think I might have told you this last
Yeah,
meeting,
but
but they ran out of their time for our billing allotted amount, so they wouldn't come out, we had to pay extra for them, so unfortunately, I mean, I do understand it, but some of you might look at it and think it's gibberish too, so, but yeah, we can certainly go over that maybe in a finance meeting if that's okay.
Yep.
Okay, all right, anybody else have any questions about financials?
So these are the current balances of our reserves then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the only difference is actually there's interest added, that of course my Municipality program wasn't working for September, so those won't be on there, but it doesn't really,
They don't go down.
right, they don't go down. That's right.
They'll go
So
up.
these funds from the budget have already been transferred in then?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, any more questions on financial statement, anybody? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Resolution 252, 2023, be it resolved that the accounts checks number 30002 to check number 30073 totaling $405,068.09 and direct deposits withdrawals totaling $1,368,948.58 be approved for payment. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Seconder, they'll be in front of you there if you wanna look at them.
Yeah, I did send them out, sorry they were a little bit later.
Why is check 330?
What?
Oh, reverse.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh. Didn't know what REV meant. Reverse.
Oh, it's voided yet. I did explain, I think on the withdrawals as well, like you'll see that I put what our reserve transfers were that we took out, so you can see those. Nothing out of order. Yeah, they're all there. Oh, yours are- Yeah.
We have a word second for that.
Yeah.
Any more questions on those checks, anyone? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Rachel coming this morning?
You know, I would have thought she would have been, but maybe we'll give her the time of it.
Rachel out there?
Sorry.
Don't like us, okay.
Thanks, Teresa.
I don't think she knew the meeting was changed till today, and she had a meeting in Glenbrook this morning.
Oh, she knew.
Oh, she knew? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's okay, I can do this on our own, it's
You
not
wanna go
that
through
big.
this?
Yeah. I suppose.
Planning manager, resolution 253, 2023, be it resolved that council adjourn its regular meeting at, what we got here, 9:11, for the purpose of holding a public hearing regarding the opening of a public road for subdivision file number 4155228443 Spence. Go ahead, mover, please.
Davidson.
Seconder.
Correct.
All in favor? Carried, thank you.
Okay, well, I guess it's up to me, here we go. So, you guys have passed a subdivision for Jamie Spence back in January of 2023. One of the conditions of his subdivision was that we have a public hearing to just discuss opening a public road. There was a little bit of miscommunication from planning on this one a little bit and me, but normally when you open up a public road, you have to have a bylaw to open up the road and the process, but through the planning act, we don't have to have a bylaw apparently. So I could have got this done a little sooner if that was maybe relayed differently. But anyway, so yes, Jamie, is everybody familiar with this subdivision?
Yep.
Yes, no? So it's Oak Sands, just off number 1 highway on Road 88. I don't know if you wanna show where it is, but everybody's familiar with it. So he's done the first phase already to the subdivision. Now let me find. Right here. So here's number 1 highway. Here's his first phase of the subdivision, and then he's doing this portion here.
Right in front of it.
Right, so he has, like in the last presentation, it did show, he's gonna do the same basically with this road he's got a road that kinda goes through, I think it's called Muirhead Road, or Diane Road, maybe one or the other. So it kinda cuts through here and down and over, it kinda does a little square. So same thing with this next phase, so what he's doing is he's doing the exact same thing. Nothing out of the ordinary, but the only thing that you guys need to be aware of is when he does build the road, you have to make sure that it's built up to our specs.
Yep.
And I've discussed that with Mr. Spence and he's aware, but, I mean, I didn't have anybody no concerns brought forward to me, but if you guys have concerns about this, now is the time to speak, I guess. But I haven't heard from planning about this either, if there's anybody that has, did it come up at your, okay,
One thing I guess that is happening now on these subdivisions is when they're pouring concrete, they're
Yeah.
cleaning out their trucks on the road, on
yeah,
our road lots.
yeah,
And we talked about adding that in there, that, I don't know how you,
in their development
Yeah.
agreement, yeah. That is one thing I think I added in his current one, and I can't remember where I've got it, but I did put in something in regards to the cleanup,
yeah,
debris and
it just,
material, that sort of thing.
like his, that one spot there in the old one that we've been dealing with, they just covered it in with sand. They made the crossing wider themselves. They had dumped right on the edge of the driveway in the
Yeah.
proposed ditch,
Yeah,
and they just went and there's still a little chunk, I don't know if he's teasing or what, but he's being, what's the word?
I can give you, if you want me to pass this around, sorry, I could put it on the screen, but my computer's not working, but this is his, like his new phase, right?
Yeah,
This is on
no.
the last phase, he did that.
He's coming
It was
down.
his son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's-
So Trish has sent letters asking to clean up, and their excuse is it's not theirs.
Yeah, yeah, and it's in our road allowance.
Yeah, so well, that's, yeah,
Well, basically, he should clean that up before we pass the bylaw.
well, I don't know, that's like, it's his son, and they've had a letter, and I'm not speaking out of turn, am I?
Nope.
No,
go
she,
ahead.
she's denied that it's theirs. So, and it hasn't been cleaned up.
Right, which is fine.
And then there's another fella on that same subdivision, he poured concrete here maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and he just went out and dumped it right on the road. Like, you know, it creates, like, as long as it's not too thick,
Yeah,
you know, it'll break down, but it's still, that's not the point, right?
When we got for something like that, if it's on our municipal road allowance and somebody's doing it.
well, they can be charged for the
What can we
cleanup.
charge for it, yeah?
I guess that's what we maybe should have done after the first letter, we should have maybe just went and did it.
Well, that's what I mean though, is there's been two go out, there's one,
Oh.
and there's been another one saying that if you don't clean it up, then
Yeah.
we'll take actions.
So I guess we could
Yeah,
go,
so-
we could still go out and clean it up,
We
because
could, yeah.
it's under
Yeah.
sand, and it's in our road allowance, and bill them, I mean,
Yeah,
it's, you don't wanna really go that way, but,
Sometime you have to.
yeah,
and I mean, he's, yeah,
Well, if we have a bylaw about putting water on our roads from irrigation, why wouldn't we say no cement on our roads?
yeah, and it's part of the municipal act too, right? So if you, like, if anybody causes damage or that, there's a clause in there basically that we can do what we would do and then go forward with what we need to do, but I mean, if that's something you guys would like me to pursue, I was going to anyway. But in regards, like, I don't know if it really if you wanna hold this off because of that, or if you wanna,
Shouldn't have to do it.
Well, it's already done on the road allowance is there, right?
right.
So that's
Yeah.
separate from this, right?
I thought they were coming to this meeting,
They're supposed to be, yeah.
so why do we have to, if they're supposed to be here, why do we have to pass these?
It's just my instructions from the planning to do this, so,
Yeah.
and they were aware it was happening, so
Yeah, this
I
is a
emailed both.
formality that they have to do, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if anybody has any concerns about the actual development part of
What
it.
size are his new lots?
What size are they? Oh my gosh, they'd be,
Well, not general, I'll try to do the same as last time.
I think they're the
5
same, 5 acres, I
5
think,
acres?
yeah. Yeah, that's what I have here, so.
This is just a public hearing to listen to stuff anyways.
Well,
We're just bringing our
the main
stuff
thing
on.
was if anybody had concerns,
Yeah.
from the public, but again, I haven't had anybody speak out to it. Rachel, I haven't heard saying that there has been anybody come in and say that they're, have concerns with planning, so
So we're gonna clean the road allowance up and bill it, so. So,
that's the next step, yeah,
That's-
yeah,
well, I think we
yeah.
should do that.
Yeah, cause I mean, it's clear that it's obviously that property that they, you know, they did it, so. If it were anybody else, would do the same thing.
Well, what am I missing here, like, where's the road going? Like that Muirhead Road, that's already existing, is it not?
No, it's,
They're coming
Do you wanna-
down and
do you wanna
across
give-
Yeah.
from where they were. They've already got the one. They're
I wonder if
coming
that's
down.
From where that last house is, if they're gonna be going back, shooting out again.
Okay. So they're coming past, so that guy's there.
Past the son's house and then back down and then around back up to the road. So,
yeah. Down, is it Diane Road, I think, or am I thinking?
But these ones are already in phase one, these are already developed.
yeah,
Yeah.
so then,
So they're
Now we're
phase
gonna go
two.
one level below.
and that road below is,
Yeah. And not only does Jamie, like, he's got this development agreement, but I would like him to enter into a road building agreement as well, because
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
then
No, no,
that's not like, it's
standard.
part of the development, but also, I just think it should be standard, cause then it's at least, you know, in writing and he understands and, okay. Anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry, I'm not a planning expert, but that's my understanding on that one.
We're here to hear comments. So. Anybody else got any more comments, questions about it?
No.
For right now? Okay. Resolution 254, 2023.
Did you hear, oh, you did hear your last one.
Okay. Be it resolved that the public hearing regarding the opening of a public road for subdivision file number 4155228443 Spence be adjourned at 9:20 a.m. and that the regular meeting of council resume. Can I have a mover, please?
Grant.
Grant, seconder. Harold, any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Okay, where am I missing papers? Dallas,
Get your
you got another
papers
one,
back.
thank you. Okay.
Okay, bylaws. Bylaw 6, 2023, irrigation equipment discussion.
So we gave this bylaw first read last council meeting, but I circulated it again and I had a couple comments from council, which is good. So I still am kind of working on it, because I talked to Glenboro, South Cypress on this one too, and I talked to a few of the municipalities, and I think what we're gonna do is make the same bylaw, so that we're all,
Yeah.
in the same boat with this.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so my original bylaw, and my computer is not pulling this up, but, so what I'll do, and I know I explained kind of how I was going to do it, but I'm gonna put a schedule in here that will
Yeah.
basically indicate, okay, so we're giving you a first warning, this is what you get. Second warning, this is what happens, and then third and final warning, so and so. So it will kind of be like how we enforce our animal control in a way, like with fines. So something in regards to that, because I feel like, and I think we talked about this last time, is that we send these letters out or we give them a call, and I have record of all the calls and who I phoned and when it happened and that sort of thing. But we've had no reprimand for, like, nothing, we haven't fined anybody for this, so. I will send it, like, when I get, done this, whatnot, I'll send out what I have worked on, and then you guys can kind of pick away at it and let me know if it makes sense. Yeah, go ahead.
So are you looking at the quarter that it's the infractions on, or are you looking at the farmer in general?
The farmer.
Okay, so,
Why would you not go on the quarter? Because we can't tax the farmer.
well,
If he does it
the
all
quarter's
the time.
every 3 years, so, right? So you,
Yeah.
like, I mean, there could be water on it every year, but technically, if, the majority right now is potatoes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, on that quarter, it doesn't get potatoes back for 3 years. So if your farmer, if he just goes and you give him an infraction here, say, then there's nothing for 3 years. But if he goes across, moves that pivot here, or starts water here in another row allowance and does the same thing,
It'll follow the
it should follow the farmer.
Yeah.
It shouldn't follow the quarter.
But if the farmer, can we put it on his tax bill?
Yes.
But the quarter, we can put it on his tax bill.
If it's rented, like if someone's.
Oh, I
If
see
we're
what you
talking
mean.
rented
Water-
land or
water
something
rotation
too.
is rented.
Well, unfortunately, that would go on the owner.
Rent up, I guess.
Yeah. Like, ultimately,
You know.
we have those situations with water, like if they don't pay,
Yeah.
the owner is responsible regardless.
The only stipulation I got is, so there was a windy day,
Oh, yeah, no,
yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone was watered.
so the start of the season, normally everybody's getting started up, everybody's kind of adjusting things, and I get that because they're trying to, make sure it's right and accurate, and there's gonna be little hiccups like that. So I will give them that grace period, which is fine, but then when it comes to, like, I don't know, a month in or so, or 2 months even, if I'm getting calls from Matt and the guys that the water's on the road, I do phone the owner or whoever it is and say, you've got water on the road, okay, I'll go do it right away. So then I mark that down, because that's record for me, right? But let's say another week goes by and it's still doing it, then that to me is, okay, that's strike 2. But,
Make it up and put it down, then we can
yeah,
pick it
it's,
apart and see where we're at.
it's hard because I have ones that I phone and they're really good about it.
Yeah.
And they go, they do it, and I don't hear boo from them the rest of the year. The other ones, not so much.
Yeah.
And the care factor is gone with some of them too, right? They'll foam them and, oh, okay.
What you're finding now is they're coming around, pivots are working their way around, and they won't shut them off quite fast enough when their road's coming.
Yeah.
So you get that first spray, you get that 20, 30 meters as it comes in, then it shuts off, and it goes past the point, and then it shuts on, turns on early again, and you get that next 20, 30 meters as they come back around. So they are, but, you know, like,
But they set it to shut it off here, set
Yeah.
it off to shut it off a little bit sooner, like
Yeah, well-
it can be done.
no, it absolutely can, but like from their point is they're looking at, you know,
If they're looking on
keeping-
GPS, I guess,
well,
let's
if I
turn
can-
off here, it should
if I
work,
can
but.
just squeeze it a bit more, what's a little water, you know, like it's, and it really doesn't hurt the road, like it does, like, it looks bad.
Well, I think that's why the bylaw will say like, if there's damage done to the road, if it's just water and wetting the road, that's not a big deal, but there's pockets where we get
Yes.
big puddles that people
Yeah.
drive
And it
through.
pounds out, yes.
Yeah, and it collects that water,
Yeah.
and it'll be like the sand road's built up, so there's no ditch, and then
Yeah.
there's a big pool of water.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I get it, yeah.
And if people drive through that with their car or their van or something, they get upset.
Yeah.
No, I,
Well, and then we'll get calls here, right, from residents,
Yeah.
and then some of it, like, I know there's been a couple pivots that are on the highway, well, that's not our jurisdiction.
Yeah, or else the other thing is people start driving in the field. Nobody
Yeah.
wants that either, so
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right too,
don't water the road.
yeah, and like a lot of, so our municipality is really, I mean, I talked to Glenborough and, Paul, I think it's Victoria is the other one, and they really don't have as much irrigation as we do, so we're really the only ones that have
Portage.
Yeah.
Portage, yeah, I did talk to them, but she was new, like she's a newer
Oh,
CAO,
yeah.
so I didn't really,
Norfolk that much?
not a lot.
No?
Like they do, but Teresa, like the CAO there, she just said they have a bylaw, but they don't really
they
have
have
any
a few
complaint.
holding ponds and they pump out of the river,
Yeah,
but not much.
yeah.
Anyway, I talked to, like, it would be nice to have a bylaw that people, if it is like something that we could all just use and tweak as we went along, but there's gonna be a lot of work to it, I think. I think it's one of those things, if we're gonna do it, we have to do it, and if we're not, then I won't.
Well,
Like,
I'm willing to do it right and have
Yeah.
it in place, right?
yeah.
What's Tree Hern's municipality?
Tree Hern?
Tree Hern.
It's
It's a lot of irrigation
Victoria,
around
yeah.
there.
Victoria,
Yeah, that's, yeah, I was speaking to them too, and he said he has a bylaw just like mine right now in place, but it doesn't, there's no teeth really, he doesn't really have, so. He said, let me know how it goes, basically, but I just would like to kind of tweak it and then it's done and we don't have to worry about it, so.
Yeah.
I'll add the schedule, like I have done it, I just haven't had time to send it out, but I did add the schedule and the process of how I'd like to see it, but you guys can let me know if it makes sense, but
Yep.
anyway, that was my
Send it out,
discussion on that.
pick it apart.
Good job.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Bylaw 11, 2023, vacant and derelict buildings. Resolution number 255, 2023, being called the bylaw number 11, 2023, to establish a system to regulate the condition and maintenance of vacant dwellings and non-residential buildings, and to establish a process to take title to vacant and derelict buildings, hereby be read a second time, be referred to council. We have a mover, please. Seconder,
Grant.
any questions on that?
What does take title mean?
So if, basically if the owners, let's say, it's more in regards to like if the owner, we've had a lot of, let's say, for example, an estate property, and, well, nothing's being done with the property, then we have every right to go in and clean it up. And then that owner, whoever it is, I'm trying to think of how the process works through it. We have all authority to take over that title if nobody has claimed it. Because there's some vacant properties that like have been there for years, and they, mostly estate ones I'm thinking of, that they don't change the title over and nobody really understands who has it or who's doing what with it. So the municipality has every right to take over and take the title on them if they would like, but it's a standard procedure. It's not like we actually have done that before, but it's just more in place so that if it came to,
Like if it comes to complaint, someone's calling in and like, hey, got injured for this building and, right, and.
oh, that's, yeah, but the title, in regards to the title, like this is what you're asking, right, is the title. So yeah, if it's
Even if
vacant,
the people are paying their taxes.
yeah,
That'll be the time you take the title.
yeah, that would be through the tax process, yeah. I think this is a standard, just, I think it's just to cover us and them for costs, I think, but
So, is it a standalone site that has its own title, or is it attached to a quarter, like original
some of
homestead?
them,
Or a subdivision.
Like, if it's
maybe
a,
some of them are homestead.
yeah,
like-
so how are you gonna take the title?
Well,
It has to be the whole quarter, you can't just do that.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, this is, I don't know, like the wording I did get was from another municipality that they had, but I can take it out. But
Well,
that's,
it's-
my understanding is that like if the land is vacant, but like your comment about the taxes, we've had titles that will go for tax sale because they're estates and people don't claim them, so then we automatically take the title over, which is normal for tax sale. But, we haven't dealt with this process yet either, like it's just more in place if it does happen to take place, then we can have every right to take it over, I guess, but then that would go through land titles and there'd be a whole other process, so.
Like,
I
what's the
don't, again, I
real-
haven't been through this process yet, so I don't know, but,
What's the real reason on something? If I get some neighbor that's ticked off of the other one and doesn't like the color of his house, can he complain?
no. It would be
Okay,
more
if it needs
for,
new shingles, can you complain? If it's a big barn that somebody's got
Where
sitting
do you
there
draw
and
the
all
so it'd be,
that.
like, remember last year we,
Is it definition of derelict?
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, derelict property means property upon which is located a vacant dwelling or residential building that is not in compliance with the provisions of this bylaw. So that would mean it's unsightly, where did I read it here? Did everybody read the bylaw that I sent out on this?
It was just, sorry.
Okay. So it'd be more like, so if we get a complaint, we had a couple of people, and this is where we don't have a bylaw, so I wanted to have something in place, if we got a complaint,
Yeah.
we can actually take action. Rachel from planning has reviewed this, and she said it's good to have in case we have a building that we need to tear down, or there's issues, but it's more for urban, like not really for rural, I guess, right? Like, we don't really have a lot of these issues, but it was more just to be in place in case the actual situation came up. But in regards to unsightly, like it'd be, I think I wrote it down, it's in here. Schedule A, so there's gotta be, it's got standards for the walls and foundation supports and exterior walls, and every exterior wall shall be free of holes, breaks, loose, rotting boards, timber, that kind of thing. So it's more like Rachel will go do an inspection, I guess, if somebody does complain, and she can go out and do a report up on it and say, okay, I found this, and this wrong. And then we can act, or give them a letter basically saying it has to be met up to code and blah, blah, blah.
Tough one, because I can think of an elevator that's gonna be
Yeah,
replaced.
we could be
So-
opening a can of worms here.
Yeah. I actually did this, it was a request the last council term, so this is why it's coming up. But if you don't want me to go,
It's too expensive for a property owner to clean up, so just let us do it then.
Yeah, if
And
we're
then they
gonna
add to
take
your
title of it,
taxes.
go ahead and clean it up.
Yeah.
it's only if we do get, like, I haven't had anybody call it about them. Like, I mean, I've had the odd one kind of say something, but then we don't have a bylaw to enforce, so we can't do much about it.
did they
so
put it in writing to you, or just a phone call?
This one was a phone call. But last term we had, a counselor had a direct complaint from somebody, but then I indicated that it needed to be in writing, and I hadn't heard since. So there is a couple properties in the RN that are vacant, and they're used for, like, yeah, thank you. So, I mean, we don't want anybody to get hurt, but it's also not our problem if we're not the owners either, right? Like, it's,
Yeah,
I get that.
You have your liability insurance on for,
yeah.
like, anybody can come onto your place and ride a bike and hit, and fall down and hurt themselves, and we have liability insurance for that.
Yeah.
But if a farmer wants to farm that land, he's gonna clean it up himself. normally, right? Like if he wants that land, maybe it's some sentimental value, it's his dad's great-great-great-grandfather's place,
Yeah.
and it's there because whatever. And just because maybe the neighbor doesn't like the look of it, that's,
Well, and
Yeah,
it
it's hard
says
to-
in here, like, all vacant properties shall be kept free and clear of derelict vehicles, garbage accumulation, junk, scrap, motor vehicle parts, accessories, and the storage of outdoor or indoor furniture or appliances, unsafe or hazardous conditions that may be detrimental to the community. And then I did add, like, the sea cans, cause those were supposed to be, some of them, actually, I don't know how planning's doing it now, the new zoning, but I think they're supposed to be temporary structures. But aren't they putting them in certain zones as permanent?
Giving them building permits.
Yeah.
they're building them into different
They're
things.
now, they're changing them a bit, so that one came up last term, I think,
Yeah.
as well, when we were talking about them, cause a lot of people have the cans for storage. And we did have that one complaint about it,
Having
saying,
it in the front
Yeah.
versus the back.
yeah. So it's just more just to have it in place in
So-
case the situation arises.
My neighbor had like an old toilet bowl for a planter at the end of the lane, and I thought that looked pretty annoying. I could phone it in and say, hey, they've got a household appliance.
Actually not, because
I
there's
mean-
flowers in it, it's maintained.
I mean, it would
Yeah.
have to be a reasonable complaint,
What if
right?
it
Like, you
leaks?
can't act on something like that, but if it was legit concern, like, that somebody would get hurt or that sort of thing, I get that, but,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know,
But then you come along, what's he doing trespassing on my land?
So is it
First
more of a
place?
liability waiting for this to happen, or
It's
more
more to be in
liability?
place just to have it here in
Yeah.
case somebody complains about it and then council can act
Financial
on it.
liability, is it more of an issue to have it in place and then be stuck with it, or deal with it at the time when it comes?
We can't even deal with it when it comes,
Yeah.
because
You
we don't have
can't do
anything in
it.
place. We can deal with it through planning, because there'll be, you know, building codes and whatnot that they,
Right.
right, so they could enforce it that way, I guess.
Like derelict buildings, so you go to
It's
90% of the
such a
farms
kind of
there.
Oh, there's
their
lots,
elevator
yeah,
hasn't
totally
been
due
used for
diligence.
40 years.
I just, like, that to me is definitely for in town,
Yes.
absolutely in town.
Okay.
Well, we
yeah,
have lots of
I can see
urban
it.
places, like we
No,
do, we
no,
have
yeah.
Brookdale, we've got Wellwood, we've got,
Just drive down Trans-Canada.
oh, I know,
You know,
I
I
know.
can, I can name
All the
you
barns
5
and stuff,
places
yeah.
right now that look like heck
Yeah,
from the road, but
Yeah.
who am I to judge,
yeah.
you know, what
I
they
was
look like?
given a request
No, yeah,
and
yeah.
I did it, so if you don't want it, that's fine, it's been a lot of work. So if you don't want it, that's fine, but it's more, what my understanding is that it was just to be in place in case somebody came along and said, you know, do you have a bylaw in place? Yes, we do. What can you do? This is what we can do.
And I can see this, us finding ourselves in a fight between neighbors
Could be.
so easily.
And I get, like, I think I know a lot of the urban, like I know the town has it, and I know that, like, the more urban areas have
Yeah.
these. And I get why the rule, because even myself, like, I mean, my dad has a farm, and he's got all these old barn, like, all these storage buildings that,
Exactly.
you know, he's got stuff in, so I get it.
You got a farm over 10 years old, you got shit laying everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can table this, actually, it was
What I
Malcolm.
can see
that
happening is
requested
these
last year,
developments
so-
around here, they're gonna turn and look at their neighboring farms and say, this is eyesore, I want it cleaned up.
Yeah.
To be honest, since I have been here, like, for 10 years, I haven't had anybody call about that. I just put it in place because it was a request from the council, so, at the time. So, if you don't want it, we can,
You want to table it, have more discussion than the one parties?
well, it sounds to me that you guys don't wanna go ahead with it. So if you don't, that's fine.
I think we should just table it for next, to get definition clarification from Rachel.
Okay,
That's what I think. Like, I want the definition.
the derelict building you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay,
Everything, yeah.
well, she did
Because-
look at it, so I mean,
Well, that's quite a, what she describes as a derelict building, like, that's quite a
So
description she
wide open
has.
category.
Yeah, like,
mhm.
I think the feeling of the crowd is that if.
No,
If you think we can handle it through building code, I think.
you
that
guys
would
can do that next term.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I
I
appreciate
know
the
you've done some
with-
work to it, but it's
Yeah.
just.
Yeah,
And that's okay, like, I
Wanna make
just,
sure we do it right here.
yeah, like,
You
that's,
did your diligence following
there's
up
a
with
few things
Malcolm's
we've done, but that's
request,
scary.
But it's,
that's just,
it's, spooky, it kinda gives me a no feeling.
Yeah.
You
Thanks.
just, yeah, I just see, like Harold pointed out,
It's a situation
Oh,
people
sure.
could use if they want to.
So
yeah,
you guys wish to not proceed with this?
90% of a perfect farmyard could be just immaculate, and there's an old house crumbling down beside it.
Yep.
And they might not like that house.
So you're gonna.
So we're gonna go after this person with a beautiful yard and everything else over this little building? I bet you they drive in every day saying, geez, we should get rid of that thing.
Oh, yeah, no. And I told Rachel, that's why I went through Rachel, because I said this is a request, and so she reviewed it, and we, but that's fine. Okay, so I'll just put council to not proceed, and
So
that's
do we
fine.
vote on that and vote it down then, or what do we?
You would vote it down, yeah.
Okay, we got a mover and a seconder for that
Yeah.
motion then?
yes,
All in favor? Opposed?
yeah.
So then we just won't read the next one.
Yep.
Okay.
Good, okay. Unfinished business, joint resolution. Resolution 257, 2023. Whatever that's supposed to be. 70-23, be it resolved that.
Oh, I don't know what the heck I did there, sorry.
Be it resolved, the council approved the purchase of 3 AEDs to be supplied at the drop-in center, Carberry Community Hall, and Carberry Plains Community Center. And further be it resolved, the cost be shared 50-50 between the town of Carberry and the municipality of North Cypress-Langford. Could I have a mover, please?
Yes, sir.
Robbie, seconder.
We gotta keep those good because one of these days this heart's gonna give out one of those bullets.
Yeah, let's just look at that, right?
Yeah. Any questions on that? The ones that are there are past their life expectancy, I think, are they
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
One of
Way
those is
past.
for
Why
sure.
we're looking at it, so.
You know, it's good to have those updated.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions on that then? Do you have a price what they were approximately or
They
not?
were looking it
Six.
up.
800,
I think it was $1,600 each.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mind it's something you gotta have or should.
I don't have my notes
Well,
from,
we
actually, yes, I do.
pretty
I have my
stupid
notes
if
from
one
last
didn't
time.
work. It wasn't it?
I do, I have them. Whether we talked about how, I think it was
I think
1,600.
it was somewhere around there too, yeah.
Yeah.
Those will be the good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're the
that's
ones that,
Price when you think of it.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Behave yourself, Robbie.
I will, but it's gonna happen.
Resolution 258, 2023. Be it resolved, the council approve a salary increase to $60,000 for Kelly Sudak to be retroactive to April 28, 2023 pay period until she returns to her regular duties. And further be it resolved that costs be shared 50-50 between the town of Carberry and the municipality of North Cypress-Langford. Could I have a mover, please? Have
Sure.
a mover, please. Adele, a seconder.
Yeah.
Comments, concerns,
Yeah.
questions?
Basically, when is the, it's never been, when are we gonna hire full-time?
it was the ad, like we have an ad out for the Parks and Rec foreman.
Okay.
It's supposed to be out, the ad, Grady was looking after that. I have not talked to Grady about it, but, we are seeking somebody for that position.
But
Do you wanna
Do it in
discuss
camera,
this
yeah.
in
Yeah,
camera? Is
we'll
that
do
okay?
this in camera.
Okay, let's do that. So we'll just table this,
We'll
is that
just
okay?
table this till camera.
Sorry, Ray, you say that.
Yep. Okay,
Yep.
continue on. General business, IT advisors contract. Resolution 259, 2023, be it resolved that council agreed to enter into a 3-year contract for IT services with IT advisors as of October 11, 2023, as presented. Can I have a mover, please? Davidson, seconder.
So as presented, so I'm presenting. I know he did review it with you guys last meeting, but this is not a cheap contract. So like I discussed before, we're having some hiccups with them, so I'm hoping that those go smoothly. But it's a lot of money per month. It's 1,427 per month. So it's for 3 years. That basically looks after everything for us in here. Hardware, that sort of thing. He does do an assessment on our computers, like at the end of each year, and provides a report for us that we can go over, and if I need a computer, he'll present that to council, that sort of thing. So, but, I mean, it's something we haven't budgeted for. So, again, for next year's budget, we have what we've got October, November, December, so 3 more months of this year, and then we will properly put in our budget for next year. It's something that we haven't obviously looked at, but it's quite a bit of money for tech, which we are so used to paying low fees because it was more of an on-call thing. But it is covering us for they could cover cyber security. It's important, I think. I'd rather that be in place than have something bad happen.
Well, what's the other option? If we don't go this way, we
Well,
must
it'd
have
be
to hire
basically
somebody.
It would be a as needed basis, right? So if something was to break, I'd call them and they come in.
But then we wouldn't have the protection or coverage.
Right.
Robbie?
So, he knows we have to vote on this, right, still?
Yeah.
Before we hire him?
Yeah.
So why aren't they doing a better job at looking after this place
Well,
right
so I
now?
had a call with them yesterday, and I spoke my mind quite loudly. I said I was disappointed in their services right now, and then I basically said my piece. So, I mean, I did say like council has to still review or make sure that it's good, but on my opinion, we need somebody in place, regardless of who it is.
Yep.
They are having hiccups right now, but I think it's really trying to get familiar with our system and how it works. That's my
I guess, are you happy, like, what happens if it doesn't get any better? Are you gonna fight with them for 3
Is
years?
there a clause in the contract, a withdrawal clause?
Yeah, it is, yeah, we pay, what does it say? I read that. It's somewhere.
As long as we have an out.
If we got an out, I mean, they promised our phones, they promised a lot of things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we also showed it, and I guess we're pretty much wide open.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right,
Yeah.
but is it
Yeah.
a year or is it 6 months or what's the?
Right here.
Yeah, I know, right? It's definitely mental
It's gotta
inventory going on
see.
at home. Ooh.
Yeah, I do remember talking to him about the contract and like when if we are able to get out of it, and it's a monthly, like, yes, it's a 3-year contract, but we just wouldn't be paying the monthly fee. Like, we could just get out of it. I don't think it'd be a big deal. I know I talked to him about that because he knew I was looking at other tech services. So he's like, at any time you can get out of it. But
It is writing.
I would like to, yeah, I'm trying to find it. I know I've seen it somewhere in here.
People might put the fear in them too, if you
Yeah.
just say like, we're willing to sign if within 6 months you don't.
First 6 months are free.
Step up
Do
your game,
you,
then we will be
Review
out.
probation.
Well, right, can we do a review in 6 months and,
And most of it is because the way they started, in my eyes.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
From what he promised us,
Yeah.
right, so,
Promised the world.
yeah,
right?
Sales
With
pitch.
confidence.
big sales
But
pitch.
computers, you put one thing in, it might work against somewhere else.
And I
don't know enough about it.
I don't know enough about them either. Like, I mean, I'd rather have somebody else dealing with them, but
Yep.
Yeah.
it becomes quite frustrating when it's 2
It doesn't
weeks.
take off stress right now at the moment,
No.
right? It's supposed to be. so.
No.
You know, like, that's almost a qualification for hiring extra office staff, is if they have.
So we
IT
have up to
experience.
90 days, basically after we sign to get out of it.
3 months,
That's 3 months.
Yeah.
okay,
At the end of the year.
that's fair.
By then we can
They're
feel
no
the
good by,
satisfaction.
should know by the
I know,
next
like,
month.
AMM or MMA should have offered classes or courses on cybersecurity.
They have, but they're, like, these guys are the ones that do them.
Yeah.
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 So,
Here's
that's what I was gonna say, yeah, I know. I know, I was gonna say, I think these are the guys that did
So
that.
you can basically tell him that we're very disappointed, you told him that,
Oh,
but
yeah.
as a council now,
Yeah.
we're questioning his
Well, the
spareability
contract,
and
yeah.
the contract.
Ability and performance.
And we looked in and said we can get
Yeah.
out in 3 months, so you got 3 months to pull up your britches or we're gone.
Yeah, well, I just, you know, well, you guys heard in last presentation, we're wide open to
Yeah.
to
Well, yeah.
anything, and that, to me, like, with everything going on in the world and,
Yeah.
and the, like, it
Yeah.
makes me really nervous, cause this is not my money, this is everybody's, so it's like, this makes me nervous.
So everybody okay with
So I'll-
continuing on, and after the 3
3 months
months, we
review,
can
yeah.
evaluate it and get out if we
Yeah.
have to, or feel we
Yeah.
should?
Okay, yeah,
At least we'll have the job started.
Well, at 3 months, next council meeting, if there's nothing, then we gotta send them a
Yeah.
letter. You know,
well, or I think
You were
it's,
already talking to them.
yeah, I think it's
initially,
30 day, you have to give them like the 30-day notice that you're not happy, and then,
Yeah, you can just like an email. saying,
Well, you can do that
council-
today.
I did already,
already
yeah.
did it yesterday.
It's in the email, yeah,
Okay, good.
it's in actually several emails.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you can say the council very much echoed my fear today.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, any more discussion on that then?
Nope.
I feel we'll go for now and
Is there
hopefully,
others available, because I know, I'm speaking from experience, the lumberyard, we had so much issue with the IT guys, but they had worked, they traded companies, it was almost overnight.
Yeah, we
Our
had,
problems disappeared.
there was these guys, and then I can't remember the other name, maybe I have it in here, out of Winnipeg, because I'd asked the question on our municipal chat for what our CAOs, and there was only these two, there was another one, Genesis, I think is the other one,
Yeah.
that was called in Winnipeg.
yeah,
And they were way more money, and, which is crazy to think that,
And even farther away.
and they're in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So, there are other, I'm sure there's other IT services, like how Boyd was, he was a private,
Right.
IT guy, and I'm sure there is, but I don't know of anybody that I would.
No, I
Do you
think-
want me to look up through the lumberyard?
Well, I
Who they're
think-
using?
I think these guys have dealt with municipalities, so they're familiar, I just think they're trying to get used to us, and I'm just hoping that they get better.
Right.
So like we said, I'll evaluate it in the next month or so, and then we'll see how things are going, I'll let you know, and then if you're not going any better, then we can definitely get out of it.
So if it's no better in a month's time, we'll just drop the letters, and just to cover ourselves, because it's 90 days, so
Yeah.
we won't
I'll
be.
give them written notice,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think they should get better, probably.
I hope so, I mean,
Yeah, I
like,
hope so.
yeah, so you get, like, all three of us, that our lives revolve around Unisoft right now, and if we can't use it,
Yeah.
it's pretty frustrating. I mean, we've been going through our vault to just kind of take up time in our day, but. So,
okay, we
anyway,
continue
yeah.
on with that then, we have a question or
You got a
motion on
mover
the
and a
table.
seconder,
We have a
yeah.
mover and a seconder, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. County Court Building.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna ask the question. How, like, so you've been having new county court building, right? Like,
Every now and then, you
yeah.
know. Yep.
So it was kind of funny because the three of us were talking about that building, about tax time. Like, we've got a lot of people from Neepawa that come down and pay taxes.
Mhm.
So what we were wondering is if we're already paying into it, like, we know we're charging Rosedale rent, but what would council feel if, let's say, our busy times, that we would go up there twice a week?
I think that's a great idea.
That would please a lot of people.
Yeah.
The
It would
operator
be
just
more
have to
just to,
take
like, it's more just tax time, like,
Yeah.
just for people to either hand in checks, or we would just take our payment machine and they can.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of that?
That won't leave you short-handed down here at
No.
tax time.
No, so we just send one person up, we'd alternate, between the three of us, somebody go up, twice a week.
Like we're paying rent on it anyway.
I'm just thinking, if I talk to Rosedale, I'm sure they could just give us
Oh, yeah.
space, which is our space, so we have every right
Share
to.
machine and-
Well, yeah, we'd have the laptop and we'd just plug in
Yeah.
and do that, so I just wanted to see what your
I think
guys'
that's
feelings
awesome.
were on that one.
I think it's a good gesture at that time of year.
Yeah.
And is there anything, like, I know, because it's Neepawa, Rosedale, and us,
On this.
Yeah.
so, like, how do we, I mean, not that we're getting out of it or anything, but how does that work? I know we're responsible for that building until
Well, it's
the end of
designated
time.
a heritage building in the day by those three partners.
But
down
even
there.
before the heritage designation, it was an act of provincial legislature.
Right,
that
because it's the
established it.
courthouse,
It was
right?
the provincial courthouse for the
Okay.
county, yeah.
Okay, So I'm just, I mean, we might as well use the space, that was my biggest thing. I know that
By all means,
we
yeah.
rented it out to the knitting ladies or
Yeah,
what they
we-
called.
We, looked into that after
Victoria Quilts.
amalgamation,
Yeah.
and there would have to be an order in council from the Privy Council or
Oh,
whatever.
okay,
the
okay.
legislature.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we might as well use this space. We just thought, cause I mean, not that we have a lot of people complain, but it's a long ways to come down. And it's not, I mean, it's amalgamation, it happens, but we would like to accommodate them.
There's people that have been waiting 9 years for that.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll probably do that next year if that's okay with everybody. I'll talk to Rosedale and get that going.
I think it's a good idea, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Alrighty?
Okay, thank you. Everybody knows what building I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
Waste levy removal roll 55630. Resolution 260, 2023, be it resolved the council remove the levy of $151.25 for the waste collection under bylaw number 1, 2021 from roll number 55630 for the remainder of the term 2023, as it is stated clearly in the bylaw that this property is exempt from this charge. Can I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Seconder.
Holden.
Thank you, Harold.
So this property is, the one that I'm removing the levy, this is our garbage, levy. So this property actually is, on the base in Shiloh.
No.
So it does indicate, and it's kind of funny, because over the years, Shiloh has never questioned it, and then they have a new person for the PILT, so the payment in lieu taxes. So I never even caught it, and it does say in our bylaw that that's specific, it's actually, I highlighted it, but in our own bylaw, I highlighted these parcels that are exempt, and it is one of them. So,
Well,
I need to remove it, yeah.
Pretty straightforward then.
Yeah.
Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you very much.
Actually, I'm having a really good relationship with PILT now, like, it's a lot easier,
Good.
yeah.
Brookdale Shop Cell Booster, Resolution 261, 2023, be it resolved the council approve the quote from Smart Electric in the amount of $826.56, including taxes for a cell phone booster for the Brookdale Shop. Have a mover, please.
Grant.
Seconder, Harold.
I have it here, sorry, I was gonna
So good.
bring it up on here, but, so this was a request from Matt. Sometimes he can't get a hold of Casey, he's in the shop, and they have no radio. So, this was the best solution. We do have a booster in Neeple while we got. I think that this is just more of a safety thing for him to have, and, yeah. The service in there is dead, like, you have to go outside. Brookdale's not a very, the cell service in Brookdale isn't the greatest either, but, having this will help.
Do we know it'll work?
Well, I'm hoping so.
The one he,
The
I
boosters
think the
outside
same one
on
he,
top, or on it, when the water goes into a rudder, would it not?
Well, no, I just, like.
The
if it's-
Neepawa one, the same thing happened with theirs, and they've got great service.
Sometimes regardless of the building, what you put inside, sometimes it still doesn't work,
Mhm.
but depending on how bad it is, I just.
And the shop here, the guys have no problem in
Yeah.
it, so I don't know, but I mean, it's a tin shop at the Brookdale, it's pretty, but there's no
All the
service.
shops are tin.
Yeah.
They're just
Well,
asking, like, I
it's-
mean.
it's pretty
Maybe a
good.
ten on
It's
top of
pretty-
the shop going into a rudder with Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
To the cell phone.
Yeah, no, I just,
Yeah,
do we know it's gonna work, that's all.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah. Well, I'm
I don't, well,
I'm
that's a
assuming
good
you're
question,
gonna-
I would hope
We
so.
just assumed that it
Might
should.
take it back.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
and then when this goes in, then the landline can go out. Yeah.
It's all gone,
It's all gone.
yeah, yeah, phone lines are down,
Yeah.
gone by.
Oh, good question, Rob, yeah.
Okay,
Any more questions on that then? We're hoping it works. All in favor? Opposed?
never thought of asking that question, does it actually work? Should I ask Jamie that?
Yeah. Are you sure it's
See
gonna
what he
work?
says?
CPCC campground funding. Discussion?
Yeah, we discussed this at our joint meeting. So the campground, the new rec center, with the campground development. I wish I could show you guys on the screen, it's very frustrating. So, so I'll give you a kind of rundown. So each council provided $100,000 for that project, so $200,000 we allotted for basically to cover any kind of expenses for the past couple of years to get that up and running. So up until now, they've spent $144,543.14. The remaining amount would be $55,456. So they did get some quotes in for electrical and the water, right? Or am I thinking
Big
explain this right?
infrastructure, yep.
So the remaining cost, and not just that, engineering costs, that sort of thing. So the remaining costs are $347,056. The total required yet to complete would be $291,599.43. So basically, I don't know if the board's talked about this yet, but
Yes.
the cap, so some of the amount was discussed to come from the CPCC capital account.
We haven't officially had a meeting yet, but we
Okay.
emailed around and the
Yep.
consensus was that capital would be a go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
167, 177.25, right?
Yeah,
Is, it's been emailed around, pre-voted, yes, that
Okay.
it can come from capital.
okay. So then the remaining amount, from each council was the 124,
422.
yeah, so sorry, that was to be split, the 124 was to be split, right? By, or is that each?
Council request total, so each was 62 to 11.
Yeah, 62, yeah, that makes sense. So the request from us would be 62, whatever, it was,
Yeah,
62 to 11.
So 32 of that was like the original, like what was left of that original 200, and then that 62 to 11 was the total of what was already previously promised
Allotted.
and a little bit of overshot, yeah.
So I guess what happened, like, it came in over budget and they need more money. And,
Well, and then our matching grant never
and
happened.
yeah, that's right
So
too.
we were hoping that 200 was magically gonna become 400
Mhm.
in the
Yeah,
perfect
that's
world,
right.
but it didn't quite happen, so,
So I guess
so,
it's either, so for one, we haven't budgeted for this. We haven't even actually paid out the 100,000 yet.
no, 32 was left,
Was the,
this
yeah,
time out of the first
yeah.
100.
So I mean, the last resolution we had, the 100,000 was to come from the rec reserve.
Yeah.
From our
Mhm.
Carberry rec reserve. Which makes sense because that's what it's for,
And the 62 does have room to come from there, right?
Yes.
Still.
yes. So if
That's
you.
where we built up a reserve, so we wouldn't
Yeah.
have to
That's right.
Exactly.
tax extra when
Yeah.
it came
So-
time
So
to
if
pay for
you,
something.
yeah, the biggest thing is if council's okay with what I've indicated, you'd have to have a resolution to
Yeah.
So that's
take.
from the taxes collected from this area
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
purpose? and
Yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah, I
supposed to be
make a
for.
resolution
If
to
you would
approve
like,
the
absolutely.
62 to 11 on our end.
Yep,
So where's the town gonna come up with theirs?
doesn't matter, Harold.
Yeah.
I know, I'm thinking that's a
They'll-
redundant question, it's a
Yeah.
rhetorical question.
They had the chance to build a reserve, I guess.
Yeah, they'll look at things and take it from
And
there.
so, I mean, so what the reserve I'm talking about is the reserve that we have as a municipality,
yeah.
that we've,
Yep,
not our
Not the
reserve with the
foundation.
foundation,
Yeah.
that's.
No, this is the one.
town, I'm
that-
sure will have to take from their foundation reserve.
The
So I know
council.
it's all one now, but do we still sort of track what area?
Yeah, I think I showed in the budget,
Yeah.
so there's Carberry Road,
So we
Adrian.
still keep track of that?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'll show you in November what they're at, yeah,
I
yeah,
remember seeing that, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that's still how everything's
it
going.
is, yeah. Yeah, because the bylaw,
Should
that,
be, yeah.
when that bylaw was scrapped,
Yeah.
I had to go back to, yeah.
But we wanted to keep that same idea.
Yeah.
Still have our little,
The council.
That way we don't have to fight about the things we already fought about.
there you go.
So when this is, by the end of the year, it's gonna have all the infrastructure and electrical there. So in the spring, we're gonna have to get gravel done, and then we can start renting it out
Next summer.
next summer.
Next summer.
So there's potential for income coming back in next summer. And in the meantime, the soccer pitch has been designed, it's to grade. So I don't know if Kelly's done it yet, but she was to order
Order seeds.
seed, and we got some help from a guy in Winnipeg, and he's told us kinda how to do it. So she's got what
And they're
she,
pricing out the irrigation system locally too,
yeah,
right?
we're going through the irrigation guys, it's gotta have irrigation. So, and we couldn't do that before because we didn't have a contract on a pump or anything, like a well. So now everything this winter will
Gotta
be,
get all the steps in place
yeah,
there. Good.
so the gravel's,
Water use license.
hey,
What about a water use license?
it went through, I think it's part of it.
I think,
There's probably a certain amount that you can use
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you don't need.
Yeah, you won't be using that big a number,
No.
but
Can't show
still.
the screen, but I typed, I've written this out. So I have resolution 26223, sorry if I interrupted.
No, go ahead.
Be it resolved that council approve funding of 62,211.10 for the new recreation area in Carberry. I don't know if I should say or anything, if that's just what if I just leave it at that. And then I put further be it resolved that funds come from the
Or
Carberry
as
Rec
requested
Reserve.
from.
Maybe I'll put as presented. maybe.
Sure.
That's presented, yeah.
Sorry, I'll send you this when I'm done.
Yeah.
As presented, further be it resolved that funds come from the Carberry Recreation Reserve.
We have a mover,
Yes, we do.
Robbie, seconder, Dallas.
Okay,
Sorry, Dallas.
Any questions on that? I think that's the right way to go about doing things. so. All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you very much.
okay.
Thanks, Dallas and Robbie. And Trish.
Oh, sure.
MAMIC training.
MAMIC.
MAMIC, okay, that's good. Resolution 263, 2023. Be it resolved that council approve the attendance of Teresa Parker at Module 6 of the MAMIC training program November 28, 2023 in Carberry with costs including registration. We have a mover, please.
Davidson.
Seconder,
Grant.
Harold. They're having it in Carberry?
Yeah,
Oh, good. That's just something that's for her, good.
Yeah.
Questions for doing that?
I am going to speak in regards to the EMO later on, about how we share with the town on EMO. But I have a recommendation on that maybe after the fact. 'cause
So how many models, like she's been taking a few of these, is she almost
Modules?
done?
I would think so. I think at the end of the year they're done.
Yeah.
They think this might be the last one.
That's awesome for her, like
Ah,
that's,
good for her.
and us,
We're lucky to have
Yeah.
somebody like
Yeah.
that right here.
absolutely.
Yeah, oh, sorry, right here. So there's two more left.
8.
8 modules.
Okay,
Yeah.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Any more questions on that? All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you very much. Right off, Center Manufacturing.
This is like bringing up.
Resolutions 264, 2023, be it resolved the council write off the following invoices under the name of Setter Manufacturing, invoice number 2170084, 2170041, 217000682, and 20190012, totaling $7,750. Can we have a mover, please? Robbie, seconder, Harold.
So this is in regards to the sprayer, that we had the legal battle over. So we had charged, storage fees for that sprayer to sit there, and then all through the legal battle, it's all basically settled now. So we just have to get it off of our books. It's something the auditors have requested, so because we've already paid out the whole matter, it needs to just be taken off the books. So just kind of a cleanup for us. Okay.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Don't wanna hear about that
Opposed?
sprayer again.
Yeah.
I don't wanna even talk about it anymore, yeah, it was like, oh, it came up again.
RFP Road number 90 West, Resolution 265, 2023. Be it resolved that council approve the quote from Rempel Backhoe and Gravel Limited in the amount of $32,000 for road work on Road 90 West. And further be it resolved that funds be covered from the gas tax reserve. Do I have a mover, please?
Davidson.
Seconder?
Grant.
So, sorry, Ray.
No,
This
go
is
ahead.
in regards to, this isn't the actual joint boundary with Rosedale, this is our portion, of that road. So, Rempel has been the contractor, and you'll see the next resolution, awarded by Rosedale to do the work. So he has said that he would offer to do the rest of the work for us.
This is
At the
from the
same time, we
railroad.
wanna do it at the same
Yeah,
time.
this is a portion from the railroad up to the correction,
Yeah.
which is our property, so
Yeah.
32,000 is pretty good, I think.
So we did plan on doing it this, like it is budgeted for.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Matt has spoken to him and he's good with the amounts, so, I mean, it's more just like a, as long as you guys are okay with him doing the work, it'd just be nice to have it done at the same time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why they tie the carpet into the correction line and the other both together, so
yeah.
just makes sense, so.
Yeah.
So how far is the distance?
Not quite a half a mile.
Not a half mile.
Oh, no, not even a quarter mile.
No.
Maybe a couple hundred yards maybe. Any other questions, comments, concerns on that one then?
Do they have the wrong amount, Robbie?
No, I'm just doing some
Oh,
calculating.
okay,
We got a mover and seconder, right?
yeah.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Correction Line Road Project, Resolution 266, 2023, be it resolved, council approve the quote from Rempel Backhoe and Gravel Limited in the amount of $138,400 for road work on Road 84 North Correction Line. And further be it resolved that the funds be shared 50-50 with the municipality of North Cypress-Langford and the RNO Rosedale. Can we have a mover, please? Seconder.
Stevenson.
So.
That's for the correction line, what we're talking about now
Yeah,
with Rosedale?
so Ray, like, well, the three of us and Matt went up the first time. This has kind of been a whirlwind. So the last discussion we had, they weren't gonna go ahead with it because we only got one tender in. Then the council of Rosedale decided that they wanted to get it done because they've had a lot of complaints from the ratepayers, which is understandable.
Years in making,
But, so they went ahead and did up the tendering process. They did get, I can't remember how many came in for that one. I think there was about 4 that came in, so more than the last time. So the lowest was Rempel. So it was, the last time we met with them was me, you, and Matt. And Rosedale, instead of, the contractor supplying the gravel, they offered to supply their gravel. Matt has checked and made sure that the gravel is actually, it's screened,
What we
right,
wanted,
they
yeah.
wanted. So that's just another thing that they kind of tossed in, because I think they wanted their pit run gravel, and we were like,
We
no,
said
it's
no.
not happening. There was a bit of confusion, we had quite the discussion about the geotech, like what they were using, and that sort of thing, so I think we've made it pretty clear that
yeah.
Yeah. Matt's overlooking this whole project,
Excellent.
from start to finish, so they were supposed to be in touch with him when they begun work. I don't think they've started it yet, because last week was way too wet, so, but if anybody has any questions, now's the time for that.
How are we paying for that gas tax?
Gas tax, actually, you know what, I was gonna say, I think I should add
You probably,
to that resolution,
yeah,
just that funds be
that was my
covered.
first question.
Yeah, no, that's okay, yeah. If you don't mind to
Yep,
to amend the
okay with you
resolution.
guys to make that in there?
Okay,
One question on that regarding is, okay, the gravel is coming from their pit. Where's the dollar price that we're paying our 50% of that, or what is the value of the gravel?
it'll be whatever it was screened at from there, like it'll be, I think it's Blue Star that does it, so whatever
But
he,
that'll be on top of this then, at the end.
I guess it would be, yeah, that's right.
Because
too.
there is going to be the product that they're
That
gonna
we
haul
get
down,
paid
that's
for.
just for the hauling and placing of at this price. And Rosedale said they'll supply the gravel from their pit.
So
Do
make
you have a
that in there.
do you have a contract with you?
Not yet.
Just a question on that, because we have to pay for the gravel somewhere.
It should
Unless
all
they're
be-
gonna donate it all.
It should all be in here, should it not?
Yeah.
Whatever's happening with the gravel, that was a good point, right?
Yeah.
Like that's,
I never thought of
that's half of us, but that's no gravel
Yeah.
involved.
Well, yeah, like what, they said they'll
Is there-
supply
I
the
think-
contract, maybe the gravel's already in that contract.
Cause they
It's
would've
not
paid,
though.
It's not.
they would've paid X amount of dollars for their
Yeah.
contract, now are they gonna charge us more for our half?
Well, remember when they talked about it was $7 to $8 a yard?
Yeah, they figured about $8 a yard.
So maybe I'll ask the Rosedale CAO for
Add
that.
in there that, you know,
Yeah, we can add it. We can approve this, but
We
then we'll
can
have
do
to
this
add
part
the,
about it, but it's. that
we can
question.
amend it the next meeting and add the gravel.
Well, I don't think you can wait that long, right? Cause if it turns nice tomorrow,
Do
he's
you want me
gonna
to
start.
add,
We gotta know what the, like, I mean, yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
prove this, right? Like,
Yeah, we
but
should
we,
know
we need to know for the books here, what
Yeah,
we're
no,
gonna pay
I-
for gravel.
it was,
whether it's in that or whether it's
Yeah.
above that.
Like, I can't, how much, that's a mile or
I think,
something?
I wrote down 5,600.
Good kilometer,
Good
yeah.
kilometers, so that's probably no gravel, I don't know. maybe-
8,600 was the, like, yards was in the tender for the gravel we needed. Right, oh, it's right here, so there it is, so it's right here, sorry, you don't have it in front of you, but it says 8,600 yards of gravel to be hauled and loaded. So that's the, so 8,600 at $7 a yard,
That's just the hauling and loading.
56,000.
5,600, yeah.
1,000.
For the gravel, that's a lot of money.
No, it's not.
Well, okay.
$7 a yard's not,
That's processed.
yeah.
just say plus approving 8,600, purchase of 8,600 yards of gravel.
Well, you'd hope so, right? Like,
Okay,
as long as they're not
Yeah,
Well,
gonna,
that'd be 28,000,
so
I
if
said, not
8,600 is on the
56.
spec, so we just say plus approval of purchase of 8,600 yards of gravel from Rosedale.
How much was it?
Be 26,000 each.
Right.
see,
If
like,
it's 8,600 yards, that's $7,
Yeah.
56,000 roughly. Divide
half
that in
of it,
half.
yeah.
So 4,300 yards.
But we don't have a price in there, but I can just say we approve to get the 4,300 yards of screen gravel from Rosedale.
well, but we got it, right?
Yeah.
I want a price though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta have a price. Cause
Um,
you could have a price.
I can email her right
If
now.
you want to take a minute and call or email or whatever, we could take a little break. if you-
Sure,
As
yeah.
long as it's approved, the price could go up.
Okay, we get back at it here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave that one for now until we can find out from Rosedale, everybody. Tile drainage, Bray Farms, comments?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything back from anybody?
Just a second, hold on.
Oh, sure.
No, it's okay, I just wanna make sure I'm on the right. So after our last meeting, I mean, Ingrid didn't really answer our questions, so I emailed her again, just with like regarding the whole wetland concerns, but she didn't really indicate what they were. So I think I forwarded them on to you guys.
Okay, I saw that email.
Yeah, but I mean, again, we're leaving it up to us to decide, basically.
Yeah, she said that she's going to
Yeah, I can read
inspect the
her email.
wet, yeah, read it.
Yeah, I can
so
read her
everybody
email.
hears it.
So the project, this is from Ingrid Rothney, so she is the water resource officer. The project will be reviewed in detail in regards to wetlands when it comes to our department. Depending on the classification, the applicant may nor may not be able to drain them, with appropriate sign off. At this moment, it is being proposed to drain them, so I assume that the municipality will be reviewing this application on the basis that he can do so. But this is still pending our on-site inspection. As to the sub-district watershed boundary, the applicant has supplied the LIDAR, I don't know what that, like,
LiDAR.
LIDAR?
LiDAR.
What is
Like
that?
elevations.
Okay, for the tiled area, which clearly shows that the boundary runs diagonally across Northwest 8 on a southwest to northeast pattern. They have proposed the tile accordingly, as some will outlet north and some south. The linear sub-district watershed boundary, as seen on the watershed maps, is subjective. Boundaries don't always line up linear with municipal roads, and when evidence, like surveys, etc., are provided, this department reviews said evidence, and in this case, I am satisfied that they are not crossing a sub-district boundary.
Okay. That one that exits north, it'll have to go into our ditch,
Yeah.
right at that crossroads though, like that's the only way it can exit.
Well, we don't allow them to.
And that's already a frost boil area, like it's Road 90 we're working on, but eventually we're gonna have to work on Road 89 up there at Burns's Corner, right? Like that whole area can be quite problematic,
Big time.
so I'm not sure about that north, like how they're gonna get it out without getting it through our ditches.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they were piping it underneath of the ground,
Yeah,
underneath of that pipe.
it'd be nice if somebody explained us the project, without, like, how
Do
can
you
we
want
approve
that-
something we don't know?
Yeah, do
how we're
you
gonna
want
do
that
it?
Bo, like, so it's Bo Russ Contracting who is the,
For the landowner who's doing it, somebody should
yeah.
at
Maybe
least,
both of them come as a delegation.
Do you want me to get them as a
explain their-
delegation?
Or meet there and at least show us what's going on.
yeah, at least
Okay.
explain it or write a letter.
Is that, like, would you two be open to doing that?
Yeah,
if I-
have an on-site meeting,
We
sure.
can go and
Okay.
listen to them anyway, like, we can't, in my mind, we can't let them dump into the ditch.
Well, no, especially when we have problems on the road.
That's what we
Well,
have.
that's-
It's gonna, and it's gonna run year round,
This,
is it not?
Well,
what
could
do-
be.
Well, if they're draining wetlands, which she won't classify unless we approve it, but if they're wetlands, she won't approve it, so I don't know how this snake chases its tail around here, but.
well, I can certainly email that, like, like it's Bo Russ Contracting who's doing the application on behalf of
Ingrid should be
Bryce.
there too.
Maps or
Yeah, it'd be
anything?
nice if Ingrid was actually there to just.
I think I have them in the last email, I can send those out again.
Okay, I don't know if I saw that.
Okay,
So should there be some kind of a bylaw or something that we want to see them in here before they ever decide to go as far as this?
Well, as far as our ditches, and we do have
Yeah.
bylaws, don't we,
Yeah.
about tile going into our ditches?
yeah.
So like, why were they not here asking us? Why did they not bring us in
So what the
diagrams and
process
maps?
is
and-
now, they've changed it all through the province. It used to, the applications actually used to be funneled through the province. We never used to see the applications. Now, they've put the applications on us and we approve them at our level and then they look at them after we approve them.
Yeah, they're
Right,
putting all
is
the
my-
pressure on
Yeah.
us, that's right, yeah. Like,
It's
So
kinda
we-
backwards.
It's kinda like downloading onto
Yeah.
us, but we don't have the ability to
Well,
know
no,
all
like-
the ins and outs of
Yeah.
what we're approving.
And that's why every drainage application that comes in, I mean, I send them out to, cause we have that, well, we used to have a drainage committee, but I've sent them to, John, Malcolm and Ray to look at, but, like, I mean, we'll review them, but then I also email as Ingrid for input, because they're the biggest,
She's the one that issues.
she's the one that
license.
issues, the license, so, I mean, that's how we've been dealing with them, but, I mean, there's been a couple we haven't approved because of the way that they're draining into
Yeah.
the
yeah.
Into the ditch.
yeah. But, I mean, it's
See-
ultimately, they're leaving the decision on us.
See, like, this was before this current term, but when that one was approved on the border,
Well, on Norfolk, that
yeah,
one, yeah,
see,
reasons, yeah,
it was approved before Ingrid classified the wetlands, right?
yeah,
Okay, it looks okay, we'll say yes.
yeah,
They tiled through organic soils, which is basically a swamp. It's running constantly, all the time. And Ingrid, with Watershed, said something about it, cause the Watershed
and
staff
Bradley might have told
said,
me,
why
yeah.
is this water coming out yellow out of these tiles and not stopping? And she said, oh yeah, we misclassified some organic soils and they tiled through it. Well, what are you gonna do about it? Well, it's already tiled. Like, so I
There
don't know
should
what's
be
being
some-
done about that. So the people downstream did have a legitimate
Yeah, they
concern
did.
in that
They
case.
did.
Yeah,
And it was approved by this
at our level,
table
because, yeah,
without knowledge of what it can impact
Yeah.
downstream.
Well, that went to another council, did it
it went to
not,
Norfolk.
Yeah, and
Before
they've got a
it
complaint
came,
against
they-
this
Yeah.
municipality
They
for
approved it
issuing
with-
drainage onto them.
Yeah,
They found out about it before we even knew about it.
but again, there's not enough information sometimes for us to make, and we don't know, like, no offense to anybody else, but I mean, you're the one who really deals with
Yeah,
most of it,
This is,
but,
this north outlet, it'll go through our ditches and then into the Park Lake area, like,
right,
which is problematic. The other one goes into Lake Irwin. So
Right.
it's not as problematic maybe,
Yeah.
but how do we know what we're,
well, you don't.
yeah.
That's why, like, when they changed all of this, that's why a lot of us had a lot of feedback, because it, like, and no offense to anybody else, but you're not experts in drainage, so it's not like, I'm not. But we're kind of relying on, well, the application process and how much detail they give, but, I mean, we have every right to turn them down, but the information just isn't.
Is there another way to get that water? Can it be drained through pipe to, back to Lake Irwin or wherever?
Well, the one that goes north, that's I guess a different, that goes into the Park Lake
That goes
system.
into
Yeah, it
Park
does.
Lake, yeah.
So there's nowhere else to put it? That's the only where,
Well, without draining it, it doesn't go anywhere.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
once, like draining it, is there anywhere else that they could pipe it to make it a safe drainage area? Like, without, you know, like you said, you
Well,
thought they
that's
were,
what we don't know. If they, maybe they could, I don't know.
We're talking the North Cypress Road and not half, right?
Yeah.
To the east.
so that's something that,
And
yeah,
it becomes
she should be able
It's
to
a-
tell you
it's-
that.
It's a low spot and they're trying to
goes
drain.
back
Yeah,
Yeah,
north and east.
And
which is always problematic.
It's always been a low spot
Yeah.
since even they bought the land, it was always a low spot, and mind you, that's progress and people try
Yeah.
to
But the
improve their
thing is, our
farms.
road is also a low spot, and if they tile into our ditch, that's gonna make the frost boils on that road that much
No,
worse.
you can't allow it to be tiled into the ditch.
No.
They can't drain into a municipal ditch. So all that does is cause problems with
if that's
cattails
their
and willows.
application, if
Well,
they want to
then-
drain into the
Then
ditch, though,
if you
right?
do it for one,
I
you do
would
it for
think
everybody.
I'll have to look at that map if it's,
Okay,
I must have missed the attachment.
yeah, I can send out the attachments again, but then I'll request that you guys meet on site too and see if that's
I
okay.
think
What
would be
big
the best way, Jaren.
That's what.
But they room there?
Well, I'll see if Ingrid could go too, cause it would be nice if you guys were all
Definitely,
there to, yeah, okay. I'll just, I'll send the request, but we'll table this again and I don't know.
Because if it's, I know the spot what you're talking about, and that can be a problematic area for frost boils in the spring bad, and you got water on a wet year draining on that, constantly into that ditch,
Yep.
that's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah,
It's a main road,
Yeah,
comes out quite easily.
I wanna say, did they not put a drainage application in for something similar to this a little while ago?
Yeah, they're years.
They tried this 6 years ago,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They tried
that they were
it
gonna
for-
make us cut the ditch 6 feet deeper.
Right,
to lower
that's
down
what it
through the
was,
ditch.
yeah.
And we said no to that, so.
Just keep, make sure, like, we just keep the, pulling that party line. If you do it for one, you gotta do it for
Yeah.
Well,
somebody
that's-
else, right?
That's right, Rob,
So,
yeah.
they
that's
just,
why- That's why we took a stance 20 years
Yeah.
ago with tile drainage, you
Yeah.
don't dump into ditches.
Yeah. Then eventually he's gonna get there somewhere down the, wherever, but right there is a bad spot, right?
Well, like I've always said, and different people have said, a ditch is just a byproduct of village road.
Yeah.
It wasn't there to
Nope.
move water for farmers or anybody else. So we tabling that and getting, see if they
Yeah,
can do
I'll-
a
yeah.
on-site?
Yeah, I'll request an onsite and get the diagram sent out again for, that sounds terrible, doesn't it?
And that day when they do on-site, like if you, the rest of you can come up and take a look at the same time, by all means, come in,
yeah, I'll come up.
if at all possible, yeah.
I let you experts deal with it.
This sounds like something similar to Katie.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do then?
Yeah, I
Thank you.
can, yeah, I'll let you know what happens there.
Fairview gravel stockpile site work, resolution 267, 2023, be it resolved, council approved the quote from Spud Plains Farm Limited in the amount of $335 an hour for the site. Should you have preparation for gravel stockpile at the Fairview dump?
For the site preparation, I didn't know what to say on that one.
I'm just suggesting,
That's
that sound
fine,
good?
yeah.
Everybody okay with that? We have a mover, please?
Grant.
Seconder, Homestead. Pretty basic there. huh?
Yeah,
Did we get more than one price?
yes, we did. He went, what did he say? He went, was it words? And they were like double of what Paul was charging.
And that, this is just for stripping,
This is just for stripping,
Just stripping.
yeah,
and
Yeah.
we know we're putting the dirt.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
As long as we, I didn't realize we,
The crop, is off now.
Should be off.
So, and I sent a letter out to,
Tom.
Tom, yeah,
Okay.
so he knows. Matt also talked to him as well.
Yeah, no, that, I just,
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope, that's, yeah, I know, yeah.
No problem.
I told Matt that too. Every time we do something like this, we have to like make sure we're doing our due diligence and getting
Yep.
prices for the, yeah.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. Outstanding account, CAM 7474, what's,
So I'm bringing this up again, so this is an account that has been accumulating the tipping fees at Evergreen. That, I think I discussed a while ago. They're no longer allowed to dump at Evergreen, but it's at $2,600. And you can't contact with individual. I've phoned, I've sent letters, I even had Grant did go out as well to talk to them. We discussed about taking it to another level and going through small claims, and I did talk to a lawyer, and he said you'd be paying way more in legal fees and that whatnot to even cover any of this, so there's no point. So,
And this person doesn't own the land
and
where it's
he's
coming
renting,
from.
so he can't charge. So, unfortunately,
2 years now?
this has been, yeah, I need it off my books.
Did we not discuss this a while ago,
Yeah.
say make it go away?
Yeah.
No, but we talked about just to see if he would pay it. We thought we'd leave it for a
One
bit.
more time.
He's not gonna pay it.
No.
Hmm.
So I'm just asking for some direction on what you want me to do. I can leave it. And we've sent, so the last, we did send another letter out, September 18th, just saying that, you know, we've sent follow-ups numerous times.
Even if they are rented, like, can you still not put it to the property?
He's got no, what is the word, cause I asked Municipal Relations this question and they said, like, so the landowner is aware of it, like, because obviously this person's living there, but we cannot tax, so his name, it's all to do with how it was built out. And the address is an equal address,
Okay.
not the address
Yeah.
that he's actually residing in.
Yeah.
It's kind of, yeah, so. And I hate, I don't want to write this off. I don't like
So
it.
send a bill to his dad,
Well, yeah.
We've tried that.
to his dad too?
I've talked to.
Oh, I don't know.
Then is Norm still on the farm?
Pardon me?
Isn't
Grandpa's still in the
Or-
farm. It's grandpa.
Grandpa?
Yeah. But I think, can we change the
Name?
now on all waste and goes to directly to the land associated wherever the waste come from?
Well, he's no longer allowed to dump at Evergreen.
Okay.
Yeah, like since this hasn't been paid, I put a flag on him for
Is
Evergreen.
he being turned away?
Yeah.
So I wonder where he goes and dumps, it'll be a
Well, he's gonna
dumpster.
dump it likely on this property somewhere.
Mhm. Anyway, I can leave it on, it's just, I don't wanna have to keep carrying this forward, for 2 more years, so.
I don't like writing things off either.
I don't
but
either.
President is all.
What are you gonna do here, like it's, but then you're saying.
Unfortunately, the way, and this is another learning lesson for Evergreen too, right? They gotta make
Yeah.
sure that they're actual residents of the municipality.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta make sure that they're asking these questions, cause this is what we end up having to deal with. And it's not, I'm not faulting Evergreen for that at all, I'm just saying that there's a procedure that needs to be followed and it needs to be
Yes.
pretty,
Wait, but anybody from here that, the person working there, you could walk up and say, yeah, this is 31015.
well, I know, yeah.
And, you know, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
hey,
doesn't
I know, you kinda rely
yeah,
on
you're
the,
the
yeah,
honest criminals.
honest, yeah.
but I guess the next thing over there is showing your driver's license.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that,
And that puts a lot of onus on them over there.
if you don't wanna write it off, don't, just keep sending letters.
yeah, but then it keeps accumulating interest and
Well,
It gets high enough.
then it gets
then-
higher.
High enough that we can take them those kind of plates. Yeah.
it's,
What's your wish?
yeah,
I don't know.
I just asked Chris what you wanna do. Like, I know you don't wanna write it off,
I
but
don't
look
wanna
at,
write it off,
but look at the alternatives.
but yeah, we can't really do much with it. So, I mean, my suggestion is write it off, get rid of it, and he's no longer allowed.
Collection agency.
We could, yeah, we could do,
You and Grant?
yeah,
Well, you know where Grant, you know where he's sitting every night?
Oh,
He's the local watchman, he sits out there and it's crazy. He just sits there and he watches and he's the local crime watch. Swear to God.
We're just waiting for somebody to take his garbage out.
is this being recorded?
Yep.
I mean, like, I don't mind leaving, it's just another, like, we just can't do much with it, like, you're gonna have to keep,
There are no consequences at the
yeah,
end of
like,
the day.
I mean, I've looked into, I would have done something,
So could, like what Grant said about that, but could you, to individuals, could you put a limit on like what they owe to stop them from getting up to this $20-some hundred? Like, could you put a stop of $750 or $1,000 per yard site? and then they have to be paid, or you're not allowed to dump? Like, could you do something like that?
Well, yeah,
Like, in this case, he just kept billing it back to the
Yeah, so
landlord.
the first time he went was August of 2021. Second time he went, October. Third time he went, November. Fourth time was in January of 2022. And then after that, I cut him off. Because I didn't know, we didn't get payment after that, right? So then he's accumulating 2632 of interest.
But I'm not blaming, like, I'm not pointing fingers.
No,
I'm
I
just,
know. I just
like,
don't know how
moving-
you do that
Well, I'm
because,
not sure, like,
like I said, he's flagged now.
Yeah.
He can't.
But
You can't do anything at
No.
all.
but are we,
But prevent it down the road.
yes, like looking at somebody else, is there a way to flag sooner? Like to get notice that, well,
Well,
you're at
so-
$1,000, like. you-
So when we get bills from Evergreen on construction or on the tipping, we bill them out right away, and then we have a system where if they don't pay within 3 months or whatever, we send letters to them. We say we haven't got them, and then this is how this happens, right? But, I mean, most of them pay. We haven't had any issues with that. It hasn't really, it's only been, it's happened twice with the same individual. This is the second time now with this individual. So we should have actually, the last time it happened, no more.
So when you send that first letter out, say you're cut off, you're not
Oh yeah,
allowed.
that was, yeah.
But we gotta, like, I mean, it's gonna be a little bit of a,
I think this individual should, like, he's no longer,
no, but, like, sorry, I'm just looking at the future, right?
oh yeah.
Like, how do we
Or any-
prevent this?
Anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't-
Like,
Like
is
I
there a
said-
way that we can get flagged in, like,
Sooner or.
like they're gonna send you a bill, say, we wanna have bills before, like, at $1,000. We wanna know if an individual gets $1,000, we wanna know. And then you send a bill, say, if this isn't paid
So
in
they-
30 days, you're cut off.
So they, like anybody, so actually I got a call from Evergreen not too long ago about a colony, like, so we had an incident with Twilight, I think it was, and they brought several semi-loads of ashes
Yeah.
and
Partially burnt trees.
whatever it was. So we, like, the municipality took the bill on that one, because it was, what was it, 100 and,
But most times, this one doesn't own any land to put
Right.
it on its taxes.
Right.
Anybody else, if they have,
Yeah.
well, we can put it on their tax bill,
right.
right?
And that's where
So that's the
Evergreen has
difference
to
here.
kick in with making sure that that's.
This is a unique situation,
But
unfortunately.
normally, like, if Evergreen gets, like I said, with the colony, that person
Yep.
didn't call us, because we just got the bill, and we're like, holy crap, like 25 grand for construction demolition charges. And then this other colony came in, and they actually called me and said, like, they're bringing in this, and they did question why they were being charged, but they knew they were getting charged for it, so there's things that have been improved from the last time, but yeah, we can charge them. And that's another thing, that they have to make sure that they are resident, otherwise,
Harold?
I'm a little confused on, is it small, because a lot of litigation take place, they not only sue, they also sue for court costs and lawyer fees. Can that not be added on in small claims court?
I've never went through the process, Harold, I don't know. I just know that the lawyer that I talked to said it's not worth our money to take this further, because it would cost us way more to go through the court process than it is his actual bill.
so he's prevented from hauling directly to Evergreen,
Yeah.
to it, okay.
Like, I know this is a confusing process because of the way it was documented maybe, but like when somebody's renting, if they live in an apartment building or a house in town, like the landlord, the owner of that property is paying through their taxes on the waste disposal.
Yeah,
So they
This
have
guy's
to
not paying rent or anything.
have recourse to get that money back from the renter if it's costing them money. Either
Right.
up the rent or charge them directly or something.
I did speak to the owner,
Yeah,
of-
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and he actually called me as civil relations.
really?
On you? For talking
No,
to him?
just for clarification, 'cause
Oh,
I did
no.
say that we could charge him on his tax, like we could add it to
Oh,
taxes.
and what did they say?
And then that's what they said, they couldn't because
Ah, because it's,
of the way, well, it says on here.
So they know that now, and they're not.
And now they know,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
now they are,
They played the system.
very first thing he said to me, you don't know the bylaws.
well, it wasn't, it was just more like, it's just so gray, right, sometimes when it comes to that stuff, so. Cause I was under the assumption I could. but don't make assumptions. So anyway, I don't, like, do you want me to write this off? Do you want me to keep it on until he pay, like, he's not gonna pay it?
He's got the game in his court.
Well, if it's causing difficulties with the audit and financials.
Well, it's just one of those things that's gonna have to be carried forward.
We write it off, unfortunately.
I would suggest make it go away and then we don't have to talk about wasting any more time about it.
Sort of like the sprayer.
Yes,
Yeah. We spend more time talking about this.
we're learning, we have learned any lessons we need to from this. Have to have
You just
Yeah.
have to get the
Yeah.
right procedures going
Yeah.
forward so it doesn't happen.
Which has already changed, right? Just-
You wanna make
I'm
a
just, yeah, just
resolution on
writing
that
it out.
then? Thanks. How you got there, Trish?
So be it resolved that council approved to write off the amount of $2,668.83 for account CAM -7474.
Can you put his name in this? No? Okay.
Have a mover for that resolution, Robbie, seconder. That was resolution 268.
Just trying to think, yeah, 260. Sorry, I should have said that before.
Any comments, questions? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Water pressure issues. How are we making out on that, or are we?
Oh, I don't know. So, I think is it
Marvin Beaumont.
Beaumont?
Yep.
I can never get his name right. So first Marvin wasn't getting any water. Tim, we were talking about getting him
A cistern or a small tank in his basement.
Yeah,
so we can put
a holding tank.
Yeah.
But when talking to Tim said he was gonna need to try and tweak the pressure a little bit, or try and figure out how we could get some more water. And so there's, how many other ones are on that line? There's about 3 other ones.
Yeah, there's-
So he went out and he tried to reduce the pressure on that line at a different location. And it ended up that it affected the other ones now. And what are their names?
Pogosky?
Pogosky, I think.
yeah,
So
I
there's
think Grahersky maybe.
there's about 3 of them, I think,
Yeah.
that are now, they have water, but not a lot. And it's something to do with the pressure for them as well.
And so how about Beaumont's, was that improved?
So Beaumont is improving.
Oh, so it's either one or the other.
So what Tim has asked, he wants some direction from us, and I am not a water pro, and neither one of us is either, but like, it's either we make one person happy by doing it, or we make 3 other ones happy.
Like the one thing
so
about with
you're-
the water, it's not municipal general. It's the water users pay
Yeah.
for anything done. It's nobody else pays for it.
Yeah,
To me, with Marvin there, in my mind, would be as good to put a tank in his basement and put a pressure system in, and then he's good, and everybody else is still decent.
yeah,
Right now, we have a pump, which is just southwest of Neepaw, 3 miles. And then it boosts it to go to another pump about 5 miles west, and then goes up here. But also from this pump, it goes up here and around and back feeds over to that other pump. So this one cuts out at 100 over here, this one cuts out at 120, this one puts enough pressure back there so this one can't turn on to get to 120 to get him pressure. If you understand what
Design
I'm
flaw.
thinking,
Yeah.
because it's looped.
Yep.
This never came about until Rosedale hooked on. And then with the people from Water Services, that are supposed to have all the answers, this is what we're at. Beaumont's, when it's working against him, he doesn't even have water.
yeah.
It's not that he doesn't have pressure, he can't even get water to him.
What's,
So,
sorry, Ray, for interrupting. What's the PSI pressure of that line? What's it, like, it doesn't make any sense why you're 100 and 120. This one should be higher than this.
No.
No?
because this one just gets it to that one. 100 PSI will get it to the 120 pump,
Okay.
and then 120 out of there pushes it up there.
And the elevation keeps climbing. correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so we either fix that one fella by putting a tank in his basement, what if somebody else moves out there sometime? If
We
there's,
just say no.
well,
We can't put any more people on that line.
Yeah.
okay, so can we add a booster pump
Well, that's
in
another
there?
thing.
Well,
Could
that's the
you-
next question, who's?
Like there's 200,000 of surplus in that money. Like I don't know if that's part of it, but could you not,
Well, we could get a grant.
so
For-
just,
from
just
water
put another booster in there? Like
You could do to service one or two people, like we had the aerial applicators who were putting the runway out at Franklin, they wanted to hook onto water too. And we just said no,
Yeah.
because we can't get water there to them. And the town won't give them that much anyway, so.
Yeah, part of this too is, yeah, anybody else added onto our line, we have to make sure NEPA is good with it first before we approve any of them, because if they're using that facility or that treatment plant rate, so.
We can do a booster pump, it's probably $60,000-$80,000.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Whereas putting a tank in his basement is,
$5,000,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, he quoted us and it was $2,000.
$2,000.
it's just a small 200-gallon tank and a booster, that's all.
And he's
it
okay
is.
with that?
He
Yeah.
would be all right with that.
He just wants water.
So,
Is there any, like he says, you'll go in the morning, go for a shower, and all of a sudden you have no
that's
pressure.
not funny.
No, it's not.
No. it's
Because
not
they
funny.
can't get the water.
No, yeah.
to-
I think we should go ahead and look at that system then.
Grant, you got a comment?
Yeah, Marvin, like, that's the same line that goes from Deadheads at John's, right? Please,
Yep. Well, no, it's separate.
it's separate?
Yeah.
So how does John's line?
One comes off of Ken Stewart's pump, goes up to Robertson's
Ken
corner and
Stewart's.
down.
Okay,
Separate line altogether.
so, okay.
Well, Parkless,
Mhm.
separate.
Yeah, it's either we do this for Marvin and then everybody else is happy, or but I really think, and I told Tim this too, like we need water services, like we need to get another engineering assessment, and like we need to get this figured out again too, because I have contacted them actually, but the engineer that was doing it was away, or I don't.
Dean?
No, it
Or the other
was a guy, I don't know
Yeah.
what his name is, but, so yeah, I don't know, we did get a quote from Tim on that holding tank, and it was $2,034.59, and that included taxes, and that included labor and
But
material.
does that hooking him up then, like that, is that all inclusive, like does he have to
That's
put any?
That's labor, everything.
But that's
It's
no
a-
pump or anything in there, like is that a pump? Like the whole thing, you go in and give this man water for $2,000 basically. You know what I mean, like
Like
is there?
everything's there now.
So
it's
this
just-
price includes a 125-gallon tank, a 3/4 zone valve, pump up pill control,
Yeah,
material and labor to complete install.
okay. So it's just gonna be running uphill, cool.
Like, I think he's
Yeah.
already got a pressure booster in his
Okay.
basement to start with, I think.
Okay, if he's happy, then he'll
So we
take
can
that.
just.
I think it's the way to go.
We'll just do a resolution then, is that
Like-
okay?
The discussion did come up about a booster pump, but for $80,000
Yeah,
or
that's a
something
lot.
for,
5 homes, 4 homes.
like, maybe water services might come up down the road in the future that they wanna put more water up there if the town of Neepawa had it. Okay, then they can pay for the water booster.
I don't think 20 people are growing, they should add up any more water to anybody right now.
Mm-mm.
So is that what we wanna do there then?
And it gets paid for from that surplus?
Yep, it comes out of the water utility board.
Yep, awesome.
Unless you wanna take it out general, I'll go from there.
Sorry, I'm just writing this out.
Okay.
You're a lot faster than a typewriter.
Spell, she doesn't know spell check.
I lost my train of thought. Okay, so I have be it resolved, or resolution 269, I think.
Yep.
Be resolved, council approved the quote from Tim's Plumbing and Heating in the amount of $2,034.59, including tax, to provide a holding tank for M. Beaumont. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
We have a
gonna say his
mover,
name.
Robbie, seconder,
Davidson.
Karen.
Okay.
Everybody clear what we're doing there then? We're good
Yes.
with that? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you very much. Thanks for that, Trish.
Yep,
Nothing added to the agenda?
Yeah, I got something.
okay,
I have a taxpayer that's requesting cleanup on and he's got a quote here for cleanup of trees on Road 65 east of 464 for a 3-phase hydro line for installation. And there's $700 bill plus taxes of $35.
Can I see, so. Was this, where is it, Grant?
This Neil Van.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, this is for his, that was on the undeveloped road allowance, right? Is undeveloped, that part, right?
Yeah, it's our road allowance on the south side.
Oh,
How much
and
was
it's,
it? Is this discussed with Matt and everybody, or what was decided?
no,
or-
Matt went out there. I think that was the one where it didn't line up, right?
Basically, Hydro, I met with Hydro and Neil then. And we looked at the line and, this is Murray, what's his last name? There was a brush, had to be, trees being taken out in 2 spots. And the Hydro line will connect with the west side of the road, and right down, we found the pin on the west side and the pin a mile down on the east side.
And this is just going for irrigation purposes, right?
Yeah,
This
it'd be
isn't
a
going into the
three-phase.
residents?
3-phase line. And that's his quote for the cat to clean the trees.
And this is just for irrigation, this isn't for a house or anything?
No,
Like with a house, you got something where you're gonna collect some taxes off it?
So do we just
And we have a
give
road.
permission for them to do it and then not it? Was that usually the question?
What's it lead to down the road, like?
there
building the
is
road and-
land to the south could be possibly developed as a subdivision, but that's in the far future. I could see somebody going in there, it's well treated, it's owned by Drysdale. Who knows?
You want me to, you want me to step out?
It's up to you if you want to or not, Robbie, it's totally up to you, you make your call. We can't tell you to, so it's up to you.
You guys
Okay,
just
Bye!
go by what's happened in the past.
okay, thank you. Thanks, Rob.
He doesn't wanna get in trouble with this one.
Yeah.
with the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, in regards to this, like, we have never paid for trees to be removed.
Okay, yeah.
So unless, like I was saying, or what you're saying too, is like unless it's a new residence and that we are actually into a contract with them to do the road, like to build up the road or to clear the road, right? So normally we wouldn't pay for something like this.
These Hydro's requested, there's some, about a quarter mile of shrub, of bush in there, because it'll likely be November or December, so snow doesn't accumulate in there.
Okay, yeah.
Is that okay if I get Matt in there with the municipal mower?
Once it's cleared out, I'm sure that's
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
We've got enough other mowing around to do
Yeah, I
without
just-
starting to go and making special situations.
I'm just thinking of, like, I know, and I can't give you, I don't know names or anything, but I know others have just asked us if they could, for our permission, like if it is an undeveloped road allowance,
Mhm.
and if they do need to clear some trees, we give them the permission, but they pay for
They
it.
pay for it.
Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yep. Well, I just thought I'd bring it up.
That's okay, no, that's fine, but is that, I mean, I can also tell Neil that as well, if you need me to, but that's normally what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I just thought I'd bring it up. He asked, so.
No, that's fine, that's
And-
okay, does that make sense
And
to
with
everybody?
our supervision of, to make
Yeah,
sure
like
it's
he
done
has,
in
as
half
far as
decent.
I'm aware, he has if you guys are okay with it, he can, as long as Matt also is in the loop,
Yeah.
just make sure that he does take out the trees
Clean it up
that-
and everything the way
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah, does that make sense?
So-
You wanna call Rob back in,
Yeah.
sorry?
Okay, thanks Trish, thanks Graham.
Yeah.
Rob, you're allowed back.
Okay,
You said
communication.
Hey,
the landowner's son has to pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard me told that.
Okay then,
actually I
He's
have
gonna will it
communications
to
up on
you.
the screen now, it's kinda working, so that's good.
Now it's working.
Now it's working at the very end. So, if you don't know if you've all read it, I just sent it out yesterday, but so the RCMP, is going to be at the AMM convention. So they do have spots if we wanna talk to them about have a meeting with them, I guess. I don't know if you guys would like to request a meeting with the RCMP or not.
I just talked to someone about.
That was highway, so that's not RCMP, it'll be different, yeah. So
Have we got anything to talk to
I
them about?
don't think I do. I do have some concerns, which I've brought forth to like the constables that come in here, just in regards to like how frustrating it is when they have these people out and then they bring them in and then they're released like an hour later, and then they're out in the streets again, and then it's like this like domino, but I think it's happening everywhere, and I
That's
think
not
Western
just here.
Caucus has talked about it, I know AMM's talked about it, so it's one of those things that.
And I think them themselves are very frustrated about it from what I heard.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I don't, yeah, but I'm not sure if
Major.
our council would like to sit down, if there's any kind of issues that you would like to talk to the RCMP, like to sit down with them at the convention. But as far as I am aware, I don't have any that haven't already been brought forward.
I don't really feel like taking time away from someone else that actually have some real things going on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kate?
thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's upside down.
This is.
Yes, I got that upside down.
Okay, Reynolds, thank you, that
That's
was very
just
good.
awesome.
Yeah, like that.
So, I can read it out. Our representatives at the RM North Cypress-Langford, we aren't sure how often you hear it, so we are writing to say thank you. We are so proud to be members of this community because of all you do to make it special. Whether it's driving our great road, a trip to the golf course where our kids play for free, the libraries, or showing up to financially support our graduates, all of it gives us so much pride. We appreciate the decisions you make to continually support us. Sincerely thankful. And it's Chris, Krista, Kylie, Braden, Reynolds.
Very
That was
good.
nice. Yeah, you don't get those
Very
very
nice.
often.
Thank you.
And then the next one is just our final payment for our operating grant. So we did actually get that, which was the $150,000. So our whole operating grant, which was $383,000, has all been received. The only thing we're waiting for is our gas tax.
Is that going up, this grant?
This one just increased this year, yeah. Yeah, it used to be, I think it was 250, I think.
So-
Standard basket
Yeah,
funding.
and yeah, they ended that freeze or whatever it was, but
That's all based on population, correct?
this, yeah.
Where we came at 303 then, or
Our population is
Yeah.
3,011,
about?
yeah.
I thought I was gonna get re-audited, or did.
It was, well, yeah, I haven't heard back, but yeah, our census was getting reevaluated because I think they included a colony where we shouldn't have actually, something happened there, and I haven't heard anything further,
So we,
so we don't know anything about
All
that.
numbers need to go down.
Okay. All right, information, that's good.
Yeah,
That's it for there?
Yeah.
Round the table. Grant?
no, me first again.
Okay, that's enough.
Basically, we have a lagoon being built, and I've had unfortunate residents complain about it. So it's Spruce Woods Colony.
oh, yeah.
And basically, I've put the call out to Rachel, and she had reported back to me that it didn't go through district planning, Cypress planning. She put a call into provincial government. It's been 2.5 weeks now, and I haven't heard nothing.
That would be a project that has to be approved at that level, yes, it's big.
It
You would
didn't come
think.
across her desk. Now, she didn't know for certain that it got approved in last council with, because there is a hog lagoon, and they're building it. This is supposedly, I haven't talked to the HUD regs, it's a human waste lagoon, and now it's less than 800, according to the constituent, it's less than 800 meters from their property. This lagoon, it's already built. Like,
Yeah.
they have no recourse and no nothing, and, well, it's Ron and Kathy Drysdale. Right on Harbor Road there,
Yeah.
down by Boggy Creek. I kind of marched it out to the creek, and it's not that far from Boggy Creek. So that was a concern, and I'm waiting to hear from Rachel, and,
Grant, would it be something that maybe I should reach out to the province?
yeah, I don't.
Should be the problem, should we talk to about that?
Can you
'Cause
give
they
me
might-
the legal on that one? Sorry,
Absolutely has to go through about 17 different.
there'll be
Yeah.
lots of,
There's
yeah,
lots of
Yeah.
hoops to jump through.
or who,
That's what Rachel told me, that it hadn't come across her desk.
cause that would be wastewater
It's too
or
big for her.
environmental.
But that, is that the one that's already there, Grant?
They just
Yeah,
finished
there's
it.
the hog lagoons right here, then they built a human waste lagoon right here, and it's not that far from Hart Road, and it's so, I bet you it's less than 150 feet from Boggy Creek.
It was built to standards for a lagoon. It's lined and it's got rock. I watched it got built, or watched it got built. I watched it
That's nice.
being built. So that's why it makes me think that there's probably
Might
some,
be previous permission when they did their other lagoon.
unless they,
Maybe.
like I haven't been by there, but maybe if there's another one, I'll go through there and have a look, but
Look at what
the
the
one-
town's going through to add that
So
stuff.
that's,
Yeah.
got 17 section by 12,
Mhm.
16.
Okay.
It's the north half.
Okay.
And Ron and Kathy, they're just, like, it gets right.
Is that rate 88? Is that where road
Yeah,
88
it's
is?
88, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's on the east-west road.
East west. Oh,
Yeah.
so it'll be.
so they just sprayed all their lagoon last week, eh? They had all the lines out there last week.
Yeah, that was another thing too. It was ranked, and they did Oliver's too.
Is that like, I don't imagine, like, that'll be environmentally looked after and a permit for them to do
Yeah,
that.
they're-
But do they need to let the RM know or the?
Well, that's why I wanna reach out to them and ask if,
It goes through the environment in the
Yeah.
province.
Yeah.
It's great, it's great fertilizer, but-
Well, there's no doubt about it, but it's the other part of it.
Yeah.
I haven't,
smell,
I got,
but-
I
I
don't
get
know
it.
how much we do want, because like, it's governed by the province.
it's on their own property.
Yeah, like, when people complain to us, if we stick our foot into it, then we're having to do something
Yep.
all the time. And then we can't approve it or disapprove it anyways,
No.
it's all environmental license.
Yep.
Yeah, we just
I can
follow
certainly
through.
like just ask if they have, because we did get a complaint, but then again, I don't know how far you want me to.
But
just-
some of
Well-
those people
We're
that
gonna
build their
complain to
homes to
the
build.
I guess
out
if
here
Rachel's
beside-
already,
Yeah,
Well, we're just, sure Rachel.
Go ahead, Grant.
Ron and Kathy, main concerns is like the trees that are on, even the hog lagoon, they're just, like, there should be spruce trees, like, enclosed on all sides. There's just poplars that, you know, the leaves go off and the wind blows in the winter. And there's gotta be, she didn't know, but there's, I kinda looked online, there is circulation systems to keep, you know,
yeah,
and none of, is that in, like,
that'll be in their license that
That's
they
in-
have, that's
That's
issued
all
from the
in the
province.
government, yeah.
It'll be all, cause
Besides
the
them.
same goes
Did
with
she
our
say, Grant,
lagoon.
if they approved it when, because they would have been approached about the original one being built and they would have had to give their permission?
well, Rachel didn't know if it was pre-approved, was
So,
both.
sorry, Kathy and Ron.
Like
Like they would have got
the
approached,
affected landowners.
they would have
in the
got
area.
approached to build, when the first one was built, they would have had to give their approval.
Well, this was a new one for their new barn, so they would have had to get
Another one.
license or an amendment, so all the surrounding property owners should have
Should have
got a
been
letter from
notified.
the province.
That's right.
Yeah,
But they could have had that land included in the agreement in the deed,
With the new
Possibly.
one, or with the,
possibly, and if they had that, well then,
yeah.
But all Kathy and Ron remember is it's supposed to be 800 meters, and I
Half mile.
kinda did it's less than 800 meters from their house to that lagoon that's built.
have they reached out to the province, Kathy, and
No, they just came right through me, and I went to.
I would suggest, like, which is
Yep.
leaving us out of it, if they contact, environmental office through
We get a
province.
contact for them to.
I can do that, yeah.
Can you,
I have Kathy's number too, if you want me to.
can you look after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I'm left hanging here with no,
yeah, I just
For sure.
think, like, I don't, like, we kinda said, we don't wanna really get involved too much, but if they have concern, like, if it affects them, then they should be talking to the right people about it and keeping us out of it.
Right.
Yeah. I'll get the number for Kathy, and, I can call her with a hand.
And just two other items, I'm trying to make them quick, is the beavers on, not the Brookdale drain, but the Lake Mud drain. Right on 464, there's water backing up right now because of the dam on Donald Mitchell's property. It's about a quarter of a mile. And I went back there this past weekend, there's a pile of beavers back in there now. Like, we leave it another year or two. We gotta get rid of the dam, and there's a hut right beside 464, and it's backing water right up on that creek right to the culverts past Inglo right now where that should have been dry, and that dry period wasn't, so.
Okay.
So we gotta get on the beavers,
But
and
that's not affecting our roads anymore.
it is
It's affecting
not, just
464,
back
it's
line.
not affecting any of our roads.
It's affecting a mile to the back road to the west of 464.
You talked to Matt on this?
Yeah, we went, did the drive, and it's just all because of the beaver dam.
So is the dam, I think it's on private
It's on
property,
private
right?
Yes, yes, Don Mitchell's.
It's Dawn's, okay.
Yeah. And Don's okay with somebody going in there and
Okay,
getting
I'll
it.
talk to Matt and
Talk
see.
to Matt on
Yeah,
that.
And send Chad down or
yeah,
trappers?
Talk to Matt and see if he figures if it's.
yeah, Chad normally looks
Let
like
him make the
it.
call on if it has to be done or needs to be done.
I just want to make you guys aware, there's been a request on another Eugene and Gwen Platic to get the water line in. I haven't really investigated, but I want you to make aware that there is 5 additional customers, maybe or maybe not, might want to hook onto that water line. But that then would have to hook on John McKee's and come down. I don't know if there's capacity there. I guess we
I
should.
spoke to him a little while ago. He called actually 2 years ago and asked the same question. And so I explained to him that we could get water to him, but it would cost him a fortune.
Yes.
So and he wasn't happy with my answer, but that's the answer. And then I did indicate, like, you know, if there was others to be put on the line to help offset that cost for him, that's perfect, that's fine. But it also has to be approved through Dubois, right? There has to be
What do we
a
have for
lot.
hookups now?
We have 132.
What are we allocated?
Well, we've also got about 60 people out east in Depot are in the queue before
Are we
anybody
at
else
150 now for potential?
Yeah,
at the most, yeah.
So
Because we
there
were
I
is,
would
at
think
100
so.
before.
there's another option. I can, like, right at our farm is the deadhead for Elton. And I haven't approached Elton.
oh yeah,
And
okay.
that's the closest to him, if it's just him. But there is another customer, Ryan McDonald,
Okay,
that would like water.
Okay.
So maybe those two could split the cost.
yeah, like we had, and I told him, I gave an example, we had 2 other residents that worked or paid half and half on a water line to get to them a couple of years ago. And it was expensive, but they agreed that they would both pay half, so.
Their dollar value is a tenth of what this is gonna be.
Yeah, no, but
Just one last question. So are these two allowed to hire a private contractor?
No.
No. Okay. That's it for me.
okay.
It's our water line, so.
All right.
Jeremy?
Well, I was driving around and I noticed a couple of culverts that were clipped, so I talked to Matt about those. Looked like the mower had done it. And one person had told me about another one, so I reported it. And I just want to say for our strategic plan or whatever, I would like to bring up that potential water storage project on Road 78.
Okay.
and then maybe we could talk to Rodney or somebody at Watershed.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
That is it. Robbie?
We had a couple minutes with Matt there last meeting, and we talked about the grader operator not having enough instructions in that. So Matt actually, the next week, Matt went out for Thursday and Friday, he got a grader from Paul, went out with him, and they worked together for 2 days, and it was right where we were digging. And a very, very noticeable change in the way he was grading and what he was doing. And it's not perfect, but it was well worth the effort of Matt spending that time with him. He's had a tough year the last couple of weeks too, because it's rained off and on, and he's out and he's not. Then you're getting potholes from all the trucks. But he's keeping going with what Matt had
Yeah.
spent time with him. So I was really happy. And I sent a text to Matt to thanking him for doing that, because, I mean, he's busy enough too, right? But it was, it's not
Goes
just,
a long way.
oh, it's just not one pass each way, he's grading now. And so that's all I gotta say. I had a couple of things for in camera, but.
Thanks, Robbie. Carol?
I have a bunch of, things brought up at the archives meeting, believe it or not, there. Wondering about getting the copies, the recordings. from-
I sent you an email yesterday.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
but I thought I'd better bring it up.
Okay.
These recordings to the archives. The other thing is the big issue is because they no longer have the Carberry paper, she is having real difficulties keeping track. Like, she has what Carberry sends out, but it's, as for what's happening in the municipality, she is not finding out anything. And they wanted to know if we would consider, the best example is like municipality of Two Borders, where they put out a monthly sheet like this. This is this and on the internet, but it's not the council that's putting it out. It's the rec department and the different committees send in something that could be put together. Like we were talking about, could the Brookdale and Wellwood rec committees designate somebody to print or send something in that could be printed out like this on ongoing
Yeah, just like some news.
newsletter, but the one that people, like this, about things going on at the different rinks and what's happening. I was wondering if we would be able to do something like this.
We've talked about doing a newsletter. It's just to get the time to do it is another thing. We don't have enough bodies in here to do.
Yeah.
I mean, in our slow months, we could probably try.
Seeing as how a lot of it is Rebecca involved, would that be something we could possibly task Callie to do?
That's what I'm
She's
getting
a
at.
joint, so.
Yeah, she's
I
doing it.
know, but to up this half of her job,
Well, what we're looking at is like Wellwood Rec and Brookdale Rec and Langford Rec. Is
or at least we could
somebody to
request
send
her to
something in.
submit
Yeah.
into ours, right?
That's an awesome idea, but there's quite a cost to those.
Yeah.
So
If we didn't have the physical one available, but if we wanted people to sign up for this email out one, that is time investment versus financial investment.
True.
But it's already on our page, is it not?
Well, maybe the individual
Maybe
rates
not.
wouldn't be.
Like, how much do you want?
Well,
to put
so
out
I
there
mean,
right
if
now?
let's say, for example, like Wellwood has something going on or Brookdale, we'll share it on our Facebook page, but then again, a lot of people don't have Facebook either, or the internet. So I mean, it's something we could do a
Also,
survey on, I guess, and see if people would be.
I like reading the Carberry one.
I don't.
It's entertaining.
Yep. Well, but it's something, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
I find in there that I would have never known if I hadn't
Yeah.
read it.
And that's what the
I
archive.
do get requests all the
We
time.
talked about doing just like an annual one, because I mean, sometimes there isn't enough news to do a quarterly one. Like, yes and no. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but We can talk to the girls and see if we can have time to do something like that too.
But yeah, if it's one that is mainly submissions and it's just submitted to a routine format. Cause I know Arts Council would love to probably join in and hand it on, but it always puts in the town. Most of my boards would put something towards that.
And you, like I say, they're getting lots about town, but what's happening, like you say, it's become a real hole, because they're only getting reports on what happened in town. They're not getting anything about
Who's
what's
not?
happening.
Is it from
The archives,
Well,
anything that's
so
happened.
I'm just trying to play devil advocate here, but like, we have our minutes on our website, she knows that.
Yeah,
If she wants our minutes, she can sign up, we have a sign up thing for that too. We have every single thing that is going on in the municipality on our Facebook, which I believe Archives is part of. So, to me, she has all that information already. But I don't mind, that's a good idea, I'm not kibashing this at all, I'm just saying that it's all available. It's just a matter of asking
yeah.
too, right?
Well, I think she's asking.
Yeah, which is fine, that's okay, but, yeah, I can try and look into this a bit more and see, because I know we talked about doing a newsletter and sending it out with taxes.
Like,
Once
she's
a
not
year.
so much interested in what the municipality's doing, that they're interested in events.
Yeah.
What's happened.
Yeah.
Yes, and
And normally, like Brookdale, Wellwood, they have posters up that they would put up around town and whatnot, and then that's something that we would share too, so. But, yeah, we'll work on it, we'll see what we can do, how about
Yeah.
that?
that's
Yeah.
all I have.
That's it, thanks, Luke. Alice?
There are a couple things. Did you happen to share the letter from Robert Smith? We're talking about that? No? I was approached by Robert Smith,
Sent it to Matt,
very politely, just says he's noticed that, well, the back roads aren't getting dipped, the back roads aren't getting mowed. And it's just been the last couple of years they haven't, so, it's well written, and I know it's a matter of, like liability and union and whatnot, but, he has offered, whether it's him or someone else, but he has ran a 7-foot mower, and he's offered to, if he wanted to hire someone, Friday from 3:30 through Sundays, he would be willing to mow the weekends to catch up. So I told him outright, I don't know how it works with the union or liability and assets and whatnot. Like, thank you for the offer. So, and then he does have one issue on like the road, the hills through from Wellwood to Eden's area. There's one really blind hill that he said he brought up with Bob a few years back, but it's a matter of cut her down.
Wants to
'Cause,
cut it down.
yeah, there's been a couple incidents and it's really blind, but, that's to be on the radar, but he wanted to bring up the general option if you wanted to
Monday to Friday mowing?
right, he probably would, but he said if he wanted to outsource some tender on the weekend, he said it might not be the option. He says back in the day in that area, like they used to have like, before there was mower operators, there used to be like the tow behind machine, and he said we get dropped off and his grandpa used to do like, they mow, or they like maintain their own mile and went down the neighbors. If it happens to become a commuting thing again, he volunteered to get hired for the weekends to catch up.
So are the mowers behind?
Yes. There hasn't been a back road done last year, really, or this year.
Really.
I think we've got, our limit for what we can afford to do what we're doing right now without,
Yeah.
It's just,
Like
yeah.
the back road, that's a major road.
The one.
Oh, no, that was for like an actual project, but just in general, like,
Oh,
the two, like when Ronnie did it and when Kevin did it, biased obviously, but, they used to cover every front road, usually 2 paths in the ditches and every back road, the entire RM. Always, well, the south half always got back roads done too, but it hasn't been done. Last year we had trouble hitting operators, and this year the operators just aren't getting around fast enough. They're probably half the pace as the other two used to drive. So there's just, but like front rows are, like there's a lot of roads that used to get 2 or 3 passes done. There's like just the pass along the road, and there's still snow trap for 2/3 of the ditch. And the back roads haven't been
Brush is
passed.
growing up too, and
It's only been 2 years, but there's a huge start to pop, like, yeah, the brush is coming back quick from everything they tried to reclaim. So it sounds like there possibly is a change of operators coming this end next year anyways, but please,
All right, thank you.
yeah, oh, yeah, so that's the end of that, but then there is still Christmas and parade and stuff to go through. I haven't done much, I've been medical stuff and not on my ball the last couple weeks. But, for the actual parade float, just doing a quick, I'm trying to get numbers back from Carberry Signs as to what, I was thinking is like,
For signage?
yeah, like
now?
2 foot by either 6 foot or 8 foot. I know if we could just, whether we wanna do lumber or price out some like flat bar for a little frame, just as, it will measure out and just like bolt in on the inserts on the edge.
Why not get plexiglass?
Oh yeah, for sure, but then just like whatever you wanna make the frame of, because for the signage before, Malcolm and I had just put like 2x4s in like the metal inserts along the edge of the frame, and just make some permanent ones that we just store in the shop. So I'll price out the frameage, whatever we wanna do there, whether it's just bolt on, but I wanna price out like how many do we want. We do have like the roll out things, like a couple of the banners.
Yeah.
If we want to make the same kind of frames so we can mount them in. And then I'm thinking we still want to get 2 to 3 new ones that have a big one in each side, and then maybe a taller big one on the back that says seasons readings or whatever. So do I need to get a pre-approved kind of budget to work on that? Or do you want me to just...
Time's going by too quick,
Well,
that's a heck of a
Well, I know,
yeah,
right? So if there's any,
I think we talked about revamping it anyway, so,
yeah,
I mean,
so,
whatever.
okay.
I mean, don't go all out.
Well, I
but-
know. I know, so Malcolm's usually my wingman for doing the
Yeah, I
physical
know.
stuff, so if there's anybody else that wants me to help measure out and make my frameage, because when is Meekwas, like ours is December, what, 2nd,
Yeah,
3rd, and when is Meekwas? It is
25th,
quick,
I think.
right?
Yeah, end of November, yeah.
Right. So I do need at least one physical, hands-on volunteer to help me make frames.
Well,
Anybody?
I used to,
Let me know when you're doing it.
Grant,
Yeah,
just
Grant
go-
Ray.
okay, because even just to, measure out and get our, like
What
a
you wanna
prefab
do,
food
yeah.
material.
I can actually, I quit welding because I got Bonnie guys, but I'll weld up frames for you.
Okay, love it. Okay, so we'll go with that, and then, we're not allowed to throw out candy, so we'll have walkers again. Do you want me to look at getting a couple updated little like costumes to have around to put in walkers? Like, do you want some little elf things, or you guys let me know if you want something updated, because there was, I think Teresa put her one
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, like
Rick's or
if they're
something.
just onesies that we,
Yeah, if we want to actually do
Okay.
something,
yeah.
maybe
I'll
get
talk
like a
to the
little
girls
North
too and
Cypress shirt
see.
over top of an elf or something. Okay, Christmas party, the caterers booked, or booked November 24th. I wanna know what time to tell people. I think last year we did cocktails 6, supper 6:30. That sound okay?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Since that's Friday. And the town side did not approve the entertainment. So.
Like for the,
For my music
trivia
trivia
thing?
thing. So instead of spending that, they have offered to, if we each wanna do maybe up to $250 for, I'll get like some just prizes to raffle off the night of. They'd rather have people take something home than be
Okay.
entertained.
oh,
Well, start figuring
yeah,
myself,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that, so I approved that. So is it okay if I use the $250 to match that?
that's fine.
And get stuff, okay?
Yeah.
I had a suggestion that last year I had Arts Council Director volunteer to decorate for me. There is a company in town, like Shandar Elmhurst from
Yeah,
Bags and
they
Bashes.
bashes, yeah.
She quoted us only like $300 to come in and decorate the tables, and the front place has put in, take down, wash linens. So if that's cool, I'm going to pursue that avenue.
Yep.
Okay. And then, there's 2 milestone awards
Mhm.
coming up this year. The town, last year, I didn't know until this year, but they went ahead and updated their policy.
Yeah.
So I wish I knew that and
Me
had that
too.
prepped. but they have set actual dollar figures as to what their service years are. And so technically 5 years, there's no joint staff to do this year. They have some 5 years, but they're gonna go ahead and just take care of doing their own. So we have been doing like a classy polo shirt, but the town 5 years is like up to $100 value now. So I guess we'll kind of see what they do. We don't have to follow it, but we'll have to update it before next year. But the 25 year is up to, so Debbie Steen is 25 years, and she'll be up to $500, but it'll be split between the two of us.
Yeah.
And 35 years is a $700, so that's Gophers at 35 years. So I have some feelers out as to what we want to do for them, but they'll be, so I just want to approve that price, because that's going to be my matching gift for them.
I wish I would have known that they were doing that.
Yeah, I told them I wish I
It
had
does
known that.
affect jointly as well.
Yeah, for sure, so
Yeah.
we'll have to
We are,
officially
Tristan
do
and I
a
have talked about
policy,
it,
yeah.
so we'll
And they
work on
have it broke down like for retirement gifts and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff, so we'll work on
Yeah.
that, but if I can have those
Yeah.
pre-approved to play with,
it. I think you're good, yeah.
then after that, good. So our 5 years though, we do have some council that are up at our 5 years, so I was still gonna go ahead and do the shirts as for our previous.
Just make a good quality one, don't get just a
Yeah.
t-shirt like that one year, we just threw out t-shirts.
Right. Yeah.
Get something
No, we
quality
did
with
really
embroidered
like
on
nice
it.
quality polo shirts,
Yeah,
and embroidered in, not screened on.
yeah, get something,
Yeah,
so a little class,
for sure.
sure, no
Okay.
problem, thank you.
Del,
That it?
Good.
thank you.
I just had a couple of things I'd like to congratulate Brookdale on their car show.
It was great.
They had 90-some cars and 30-some old tractors and that.
Yeah.
Very well attended.
And it was-
Fireworks, we were over at Moore Park and you could see the fireworks and they did a really good job.
There was Gordon and Sam Ellsworth. We had a donation and there was $3,000 collected for them.
Beautiful.
That was
That was
the
good deal.
people that got the hydro strike.
And then one other question down the road, and I don't know how we deal with something, is with farmers doing aerial spraying with Roundup on their canola. And they sprayed the road lounge and killed all of it too. Where do we go with something like that?
It usually happens the year after there's thistles. in the ditch.
Pardon me?
Usually after that happens, there's thistles in the ditch.
To start with, they're not, Roundup isn't for aerial spraying. It's not supposed to be, you've got somebody aerial spraying with Roundup, you can pull their license.
Don't they
Aerial
when
spray,
they-
Roundup is not for aerial use.
I'm not just definite on the rules either.
Well, I do know that, but
Don't they have insurance, like the farmers?
Well,
when they
that's
do
the
that?
question, is the insurance on it and the farmer, because it's whether, and I was talking to the farmer, he's not sure whether it was Roundup or Reglo. But it's, you can see it, well, it's right at my place, you can see where my yard is, because I was watching the plane, he didn't spray that, but east and west, you can see where the drift is. There's no grass, it's greener than, or brown now, so how you deal with it, I don't know.
There was one year, there was emergency use on, because it was too wet to get in to spray. But that, I didn't even realize that it's permanent on Roundup, like Earl, like that year it was just emergency use. Because of the wet conditions in the fields, and that was granted by the province, but I didn't even realize it was permanent, that you could use Roundup.
I'm not just sure how it is there, but there's sort of an unwritten rule too, that you're supposed to spray 2 rounds around the highway for a
Right.
headland, and none of that was done either, so. And it just, if you spray it out, now we're gonna have thistles and wild oats and every weed in North America. You know, and not that I'm a flower lover, but there was dandelions, or
Oh,
not,
the
not
wildflowers
dan-
are crazy right now.
your crocuses were there.
Right.
Your lady slippers, your tiger lilies, and all these other things that, whether, will Reglone just kill them yearly, or will that kill them?
Regulon is just yearly. That's the problem, Regulon, that's the difference between
Well, that's- yeah, I
Regulon and
know.
Roundup.
Yeah.
Roundup is just onto the roofs and finishes.
Spray on the contact spray where.
Yeah.
But just to make I'm just making a comment, I don't know how you deal with something like that.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
There's no way that an aerial company would ever spray something that they would lose their license on.
Well, they'll have insurance, because there are
No,
people that
but
get the wrong
I mean,
quarter and make it.
Like
Yeah.
they can't, like, if they're spraying Roundup, they're able to spray Roundup. There's not one aerial spraying company is gonna get shut down
No.
for spraying something that they're not
That's
supposed
right,
to.
yeah.
So,
I don't think you can go that
So
avenue.
hopefully
no.
it is just the annual stuff, right? Hopefully
If it
it's
is
like-
Regnum, but I thought there was some later on in the fall that you could spray Roundup on something like.
Well, they sprayed lots.
Canola and that.
they spray Roundup on canola, they spray Roundup on wheat, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about the aerial application.
Yeah,
See, this has been a major issue with, people have been trying to use Roundup as a desiccant, and it's not licensed for that. And they've also had problems with, exporters testing the grain to see if there's Roundup in it. You can spray Roundup after the crop is harvested,
There's lots
but
of
you
people
can't use
spraying,
it for a desiccant, otherwise.
there's lots of people spraying Roundup on wheat and barley and that for a
Yeah,
desiccant.
when they're not supposed to, that's the problem, and it's also causing
Okay,
issues.
anyway, I'll talk more to that farmer on this here.
so, like, if it's like, how big an area, is it bad?
Well,
Like,
it's a whole mile.
it's the whole mile and
Yeah.
okay, so there should be some sort of restitution for that.
Well, thing is what you do, like it's,
Well,
That's what I'm
Nothing
saying, like
else.
if they
You can
mess
see
up
it.
like that, they must have insurance of some kind.
oh, I'm sure they do, because they got insurance,
And then
because if they
that
get the
should be
wrong quarter and
something
spray the wrong spray on it,
Yeah.
they do compensate for that, they have insurance.
That's what I would maybe suggest is,
Did you document it, take pictures and times and?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I would.
Telephones are wonderful things, but anyway, just a comment, I'll take more out of the farmer on that.
Actually, the person to talk to is Manitoba Conservation, they're in charge of that.
Anyway, just to make you aware that, you know,
Yeah.
that stuff
Wouldn't
does
hurt to have a
happen out
breakdown
there.
of the current rules just
Yeah.
in file, right?
Well, yeah, okay, Trish,
okay.
that's enough.
So I got a grant from, just the Canada Job Grant, for Nellie's training for her,
Oh, sweet.
it's like $790, but it covers her course that she's taking, so yay. I had a municipal administrative district meeting on Friday, it was just virtual. Lots of concerns in regards to like municipal relations staffing came up quite a bit, so, yeah, that was, anyway, it was good. There's not like anything surprising that came out of that, but it was good. Our taxes due date now passed and it went very smoothly, so everybody it was pretty good actually. We have a public works meeting next Tuesday, the 17th at 8 o'clock at the Carberry shop. Everybody can be there.
Nope.
Who can make it, that would be great. Just, they would like to meet with council again, so I did indicate that we would like an agenda and, yeah, so.
That's Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
The 17th at 8, yeah.
17.
And also, I'll email you, or well, I was gonna ask you this after the meeting, but I'm going to be getting shirts for everybody for, like, golf shirts kind of, for our meetings or whatever, just to wear, or to go out to conventions or attend meetings or whatever, so I just need everybody's, sizes possibly, if I can get those,
Small XL.
and then, okay. So I'll get a paper circulating, but I just wanted to get some kind of attire. Other than
I'm
that,
losing weight, I'm going to go in.
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Trish.
Okay.
In camera, resolution, what, 270 or 271?
270, yeah.
270, 2023, be it resolved, the council as a committee of the whole move into in camera to discuss personnel matters. Could I have a mover? Robbie and Dallas.
Okay.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you.